Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
Here in this phenomenal race, Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin still lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to E-Series. First of all, I hope Josh can get with us shortly. I believe he's had a bit of an internet outage. But yes, welcome in back for another round here of the E-Series Championship, round 5 at the Canadian Grand Prix, which is a track I'm quite excited for. It's a track I haven't seen too much on this game yet, so it's a bit of an unknown for me personally, probably as well to a few of the drivers as well, but I presume they've had lead races probably once or twice on this track in the past on this game, I imagine. But I think tonight we've got probably our strongest lobby that we've had since the start of esports. We'll have a quick look through the lineup we've got for tonight. So, TF10 we've got Oscar Villacampa and Paul Eckelmeyer. Those two race quite often for the TF10 team. Then we've got the standard Ferrari lineup of Istvan Pukki and Dylan Warren. Also remember these are 3-time winners in this championship. Then we got Lenny Pepinta and Lilian Debecourt in race clutch. Yet again, two another very, very quick drivers. Veloce, Timothy Lelankiewicz and Max Grosboid are both of those to make in there. I believe first appearances this championship in Veloce. Then for RHG, we got Pro Series driver Matthias Van Erven racing alongside Ikebana, who's unfortunately got a quali ban on the RHG for the RHG team. Then we've got SRT, Josie Floke and Leroy Brown. That's a team that I'll be very keen on seeing perform tonight. Then TS, Jan Halliday and former esports driver in the Haas team, obviously back in 2019-2020, Floris Vyers. And we've got Vroom, Tristan Debecourt, the brother of Lilian, racing in a different team. He's alongside Andre Molnar. FER has got Topias Koivunen and Kodon Ingolo. Then the final team, Williams, with Valentin Bruffer and Yannick Schmidt. And Josh, are you with us now? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, you're very quiet.
Am I? Oh, that's a change. Give me 1 second, and I'll do it myself. Can we in London? Can you hear us?
Oh, you're a bit louder. There we are. That'll work.
Are we okay?
Yes.
Hello. Right. If anybody saw that episode of Doctor Who recently, where Donna threw a cup of coffee over the TARDIS, it's not quite been like that. But I went to get a cup of coffee to get me to the broadcast. I came back, and all I could see of the screen that me and Richie watched was black. The laptop completely died. The Ethernet lead wouldn't let me reconnect, and I've been spent the last 5 minutes running around like a headless chicken, trying to get it working. So, yeah, usual Wednesday. Hello, everybody. I'm delighted to be back.
Yes, you sound, I'd sound rather stressed out, but aren't we all stressed out? And I'm sure a lot of these drivers will be stressed out with this race because Canada, I'd say it's quite a difficult circuit, I think, because the traction, it can be quite difficult. Obviously, on this game, it's a little bit better than the last game, but I think drivers all still struggle with that traction element. And obviously, you've got multiple chicanes around this track as well. You got, 3 chicanes? You got turn 3 and 4, then you got turn 6 and 7, turns 8 and 9, and then turns 13. So there's 4 chicanes on this track. I mean, I would not like to drive around this track because chicanes are probably my least favourite corners on the in racing. And yes, there's 4 of them here. So if you like chicane, you're in. You're going to do quite good tonight. I think that is clear. And also, if you like long straights, but it isn't that hard to be good at driving down a long straight, is it, Josh?
It's not, and it's actually one of my favourite circuits, Canada, so you've kind of given it away, because it always provides us with quite interesting races. It always provides us with a unique feel, and even before that 2011 race, I was in love with Montreal. It always had a special feeling about it as well. It's on a man-made island in the Ile Notre Dame, of course, built for the 1960s Expo that was held in Montreal, and it is fantastic. We've got the 1976, I believe, or 1978 Winter Olympic and Summer Olympic rowing lake just alongside, where the teams do their famous boat race per year. And it is just mainly straights, but it's awesome in the St. Lawrence Seaway. It's one of my favourites, and we're looking forward to a 50% race, but a full qualifying as the drivers are about to go into it. Interesting stat about this circuit, it was changed from the original because nobody liked it. and now it's become a fan favourite. How like Las Vegas, and the only Canadian to ever win here was Gilles Villeneuve, which is why this is called the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Fun
Yeah, I
fact for you
think
there.
yeah, it's one of those tracks. I don't dislike it, but I don't like it. I don't know why. It's a weird one. There's nothing I like. There's nothing that's bad about the track. It's just not a track that I really say, oh, I like Canada. It's just it's just a circuit. But before we get into the qualifying sessions, drivers have loaded in. We'll have a quick look at the standings. And still, Ferrari, what a surprise! They're leading the championship by 41 points, I believe it is, to Veloce Academy, who had a brilliant race, Josh, that you missed out in Monaco. A 1-2 with Rishan and Daniel, which was a superb performance. They're now sitting 10 points ahead of Race Culture at the start of the season, but drawn on points with Ferrari. They're now over 50, 60 points back from that, so they definitely need to try and find some form tonight in Canada. Then we have RHG in fourth there, 3 points ahead of Williams Esports, who then we have Streamline Racing Team, who are now top of the community teams here in the E-Series, which is something that they definitely was not this time last season. So a great job from the SRT team to be ahead of the likes of Thomas String Sim Racing, who are drawn on points with TF10. Then obviously got Vroom and FVR quite far back. They've got to find something to happen there, surely. They need to make sure they can get themselves out of Q1 and preferably into Q3, because 47 and 45 points, it's not looking too good for them at the moment. But there's still 4 rounds left, including this one, so there is time for them to claw it back. But I think at the position they're in now, it's going to be quite difficult. But I think one team that are going to be quite happy is RHG. They've got a Pro Series driver, meaning if they can, try and pull them more a little bit away from Williams, because Williams are only 3 points back. That is quite close between those two teams. So we'll see if Matthias and Nika can try and draw something out for them. And we've got a few cars on track. We'll switch over to the game screen very quickly, and we should be able to see the game screen if the game wants to acknowledge my presence.
Oh, there's Akabane with his qualifying ban, I
Yes.
understand, as you say. He's now retired from the session after Monte Carlo.
Let's try and find Dylan Warren. There we are. First out track now. Dylan is the merchant at this track. Last game and this game, I believe, he's literally probably the quickest driver on this circuit. So if we see Dylan on pole, if we see Dylan winning, it's not a surprise. I've called it now. I'm going to say Dylan's going to win the race, because from what I've seen before, last season, I think he started somewhere like 12th and he finished 3rd, which on last game was quite difficult to do, considering there's lots of DRS trains, and also, well, first of all, there's not many overtakings whatsoever, and also there was quite limiting strategy, so it wasn't like a strategy could really help. So if he can do what he did last time here in this season, I think he's definitely got a very solid chance of taking victory. He's out on the intermediate tyres. We always see this every single time drivers heading out on the intermediates to try and set their first laps, but as something we always see every single time, Vroom straight out on the soft tyres. I think they've done this every race, haven't they, Josh? Every single time, out on the softs.
Yeah, and it's a good way, actually, because straight out there, no messing around, set an early lap while everyone else is trundling around on intermediate tyres, get an early one in, and then see what everybody else does. It's the method I would choose, because then it just gives you a bit of time to relax and plan your strategy, whereas if you go out straight away in intermediates to make sure the setup's okay, you lose time for setting banker lap times, because something could happen later on in the session. So it's not a bad decision at all.
Yes.
As we're watching, I believe, VRM now with Andre Molnar going wheelie with the 2. He's in 6th and 7th.
Yes.
With Tristan just behind, and they're coming through in my favourite part of the track. This used to be the start-finish line, of course, this section of the circuit back in the 1980s, but it was moved further down in 1987 after a couple of people said the pit lane was too small, it was too narrow to be a pit straight, and of course back in 1982, the tragedy when the race started, with the death of a driver as well. So it was all sort of moved around to where we have it now.
Yeah.
And then the new pit complex was built up in 2019, and it wasn't used again until 2021.
Well, Josh, you seem to know a lot. You seem to know a lot about these circuits. So why don't you give us a bit of a rundown with Andre Mono, who's just starting his lap?
Well, this first segment of corners as well, very tight and enables the field to bunch up. Opens up into the 3-4 chicane. It's actually downhill, this segment of the track as well. Carry a lot of speed and get as close to the wall as possible. Now we come around the casino into turns 7 and 8, take a lot of the entrance curb, and then back on the power. Easy for the rear of the car to step out here as it wants to drift out. DRS is open, the energy hurdle down towards turn 8 and 9. The casino just on your right. And this, you can carry a lot of speed towards the exit, sacrifice the entry, and then just carry it full throttle towards the wall. Sometimes you see drivers taking a bit too far and putting a front wheel in. down into turn 10 now. This is a heavy hairpin. The heaviest breakers on the track. You can see them locking up. Sometimes you miss an apex, but it's the slowest, about 60 miles an hour. Back up then, down the straight. There's the old race control building on your left, as you heard till now, with the DRS. Down towards the 15-16 chicane. This is where the wall of champions, or the champions wall is. If you go in here, you're likely to be a world champion. Flick the car in, don't take too much, get as close to the wall as possible. Now keep your car to the right-hand side. It's not the racing line, but it is the fastest line to the line for qualifying, and Andre Moller does a 109.708.
Yes, and I'm just looking in the chat as well. There's a lot of people here for Team Derbycourt. You've got Killian saying, come on, Andre. And Luke says, I want the commentators to bring every time Max is on screen. Don't worry, Luke. I saw the conversation, and no, I'm not going to get myself involved with all of that. And then Malcolm says, hello, guys, let's go Vroom. So lots of support for Race Clutch and Vroom in the chat today. Let us know as well, everyone in the chat, where... I was going to say where you're from, but also let us know who you're here to support in this championship. Obviously, there's 10 teams, 20 very quick drivers as well, and we've got another driver who's on the soft competitor tires. It's Tristan Derbycourt, the brother of Lillian, but they're racing in different teams. The one's in Race Clutch, the other is in Vroom. Obviously, Vroom's sitting right down at the bottom of the championship, and Race Clutch is sitting in third. So, yes, big difference in points for the two teams and for the two brothers. It would be nice to see them race together. I think it would be quite cool, wouldn't it, seeing two brothers on the same team? But yes, that's definitely not the case here tonight. We'll see what time Tristan can do as he heads to the line. He will go quickest with a 109.438, 3 tenths quicker than his teammate Andre Molnar. But remember, he had a bit of a mistake down at turn 40 at the hairpin. He probably lost a couple of tenths there as he went a little bit too deep and had a bit of a lock-up. And we've got a few times being set by Joseph, Lillian, Flores, Coldon and Jan, but they're on the intermediate tyres, so they really mean nothing at all. But we have got someone out on the track, and it is Matthias van Erven, racing for RHG.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to notice that he was down there in 14th place. I was about to say, he's out on an outlap in the Alfa Romeo. Yeah, it's going to be weird next year, of course, because when the F1 season starts, it won't be Alfa Romeo anymore. It'll be Sauber. So we've got to go back to calling it Alfa Romeo in the game and Sauber in real life. Of course, that's ahead of Audi taking over in 2026, when everybody in the UK and Germany is going to fight not to call it Aldi. To be fair, that would be quite funny. I did it in Le Mans, actually, Aldi instead of Audi. It's quite hard when you've spent most of your life saying, oh, I'll just pop into Aldi for something. And then you've got to say Audi.
Audi and Aldi. Well,
yeah.
If you pronounce your words right, it's not that hard to get wrong. Or you could do the English way and say Audi, which just makes me feel it makes me feel sick when people say Audi. A friend says it to me, and I'm like, no, that is not the right way to say it. I said, first of all, you don't even like cars. You have no say in this conversation. It's Audi, simple as. And that's what the Germans say as well. So it makes it even more right. So we've got Matthias out of traffic, we've got Topius, Max, and Paul as well, all out on the circuits. And Matthias will be the first one to, will be the third to set a lap time on the softs. And he will be the first for the RHG team. Also, Ika's got a qualifying ban. I can't exactly remember what for. I shouldn't say that, but I honestly cannot remember. So we'll have a little look later and remember. Yeah. But he'll be first on.
I was watching. Thought you and Josh, by the way, did amazingly in Monaco.
Thank you. You missed it. It was a really good race. Really good.
Yeah.
Out of all weeks to be ill.
Yeah, I know. Of all the weeks. But you did spend any hours. I didn't watch it live. I shouldn't say that either. But I watched it the next day with a slice of cake and a large coffee. It was a caramel latte that I got for the treat. Actually, what I'm having right now in the commentary box. And I enjoyed it. I really did.
Well, Matthias van Erven is invalidated down at turn 3. So his first lap out, but that chicane is horrible. It's very easy to invalidate. I would know. I'm bad at the game, and I invalidate it pretty much 8 out of 10 times. So I can understand the drivers here probably also invalidate it 1 or 2 times out of 10 because it is a really difficult part of the circuit to get right. Paul Leckermeyer is on track. He's coming through in towards turns 1 and 2. So we'll go on board with the TF10 driver at the moment. So he heads down in towards turns 3 and 4. This is where we saw Matthias invalidate the car straight through. And you want to go as close to the walls as you can and also as close to the white lines as you can through that section of circuit. Then down towards the chicane at turn 6 and 7. This is the second chicane. Paul goes on to the first set with a 19.1. Gives him the quickest first set time at the current time. Then we've got 2 of the Aston Martins just moved over to the left. That's obviously part of the SRT team. As Paul now heads down into this next section at turns 8 and 9, which is yet again a very difficult part of the track to get correct. Then he comes round, sweeps to the left, into the braking zone for the hairpin one into the brake just after that 100 metre ball. Get down to third gear, get back in the power, a bit scrappy there for Paul on the exit as he heads down towards the final couple of calls. We'll see what time he can manage in the Red Bull. He's just going to get through a few cars who are going to be beginning their lap shortly, as we could see Matthias just enter back into the pits. So we'll see what time Paul can do. So currently the fastest time is a 109.438 for Tristan Debecourt. What can Paul do? Can he make that lap quicker? Yes, he can, at 0.249. Then we've got the two Williams on track as well. We'll just need to try and find who's closest to the line first, as I always end up not knowing where everyone is on circuit. We've got the two Veloce Academies through. Mass Gross Pointer heading through the final couple of calls. We'll see what he can do. Actually hits the wall on the exit. That's his lap time. Don't worry about Timi Zelenkiewicz. He's just heading out of the hairpin. So we'll see what time he can do. As we've got Topias and Max setting their times. Obviously, Max's time was, that's not representable because he did smash the wall coming out of the Wall of Champions, which is a very difficult corner, and I hate it. Honestly, there's no corner on this track I like to drive. They're all horrible. Maybe that's the reason why I don't like the track, because it's difficult.
I love it. I know it sounds awful, but I do. As we see Zelenkiewicz going up into second position, and there goes Lenny right to the top with a 109.085. Remarkable opening gambit there.
Yeah, great lap there from the race clutch driver. Then we've got Vancy Bruffer. What does he do? He goes even quicker with an 0.40. Then we've got Leroy Brown on lap time as well. We'll see what he can do, but I believe there might be a few ahead of him on laps. We've got the two TS. Ikoda Ngola goes into third. And TS tonight are my favourite team. I don't like to be biased, but Floris and Jan, I've commentated on them since I started commentating. So this is the dream team, honestly. Peso and Floris. What team that is, and Floris will go into sixth position there for the TES team, and then we'll see what Jan can do. He's also just headed out of the final corner up to the line. We'll see. Here he go. He stays fifth. Oh, so he didn't improve on his time. So yeah, Jan could have been on 8 lap. As Josie Floke goes quickest first driver into the 108. So that is something that SRT need.
And Dylan Warren jumps up to second, 108.970. So this is getting very, very close now at the front as we get towards the end of Q1. Drop zone is getting even more interesting because this time Pookie's right there in it. The drivers who have won so much this season, they're right in the danger zone, mate.
Yes, and then we knocked Yannick Schmidt into the drop zone for Q1 with a 109.937. Now, Yannick Schmidt is one of the final drivers I would have saw in there, and Matthias Van Erven as well, without a lap time. He's on a lap time now, just heading through into that first setup, down in towards turn 6 and 7. We'll see what he can do, a 19.213 in that first set for the RHG. His teammate's going to be starting from the back, so Matthias realistically needs to get himself out of Q1 and I'd say out of Q2 as well, for the calibre of driver he is. RHG, they've had a bit of a poor thing when it comes to qualifying, but in the races do seem to quite kind of pull it back sometimes. Obviously, I believe it was RHG who had a quali ban last time out in, not Monaco, I think it was in round 3 they had a qualifying ban. As that was someone popping up onto the screen. I think it was Jan Halliday. There we are, 7th place for the TES ride. That puts Topias Koivunen into the drop zone in FVR. Lillian Derbecourt is all part of race, which is very close to that drop zone at 109.509. Jolie Floke knows that 108.9 is quick enough. I think we all know that is quick enough to get him through into the next part of qualifying. What can Matthias Van Erven do? He heads the line. He goes third fastest with a 109.011. So there drops Lillian into the drop zone, putting Oscar Lecampo rods on the cut-off.
Yeah, I swear Ferrari just toying with me now as well. I say Esteban Pukas in the drop zone, bang, goes into top 6 as well. So definitely trying to get me there. But this is a close quali. And I'm surprised about Yannick Schmidt as well. He's going to go out on an out lap shortly to try and have a go. As we see Mateus is still second. Now we're looking at top plus as well. Coming in with Kovalan, 17th place at the moment for the Mercedes driver for FVR. 109.723, but he'll get that up. Oh, hello. Van Dien has said that's enough.
Yeah, I think it should be. Yeah, I think that should be enough.
Warren as well.
Dylan, and sure Matthias will do the same. We'll see he enters into the pits, and we'll see what Topias can do.
That yellow flag's really annoying. You can't tell how long's left in the session. No, how many's left?
Oh,
how many minutes?
4 minutes.
4 minutes. There we go. That yellow is really annoying.
This will probably be the final lap time for Topias and Lillian, depending if they want to do a double 8 lap or something. We'll see what their plan is. But everyone else, when they head out, will probably be their final laps of this Q1 session to get themselves, if they can, in towards Q2. Obviously, in this session, it will be the bottom 5 that drop out. We've already got one, which is the RHG of Ikebana, who's got a qualifying ban, so it will be the bottom 4 at the moment, being Lillian, Topias, Yannick, and Max. Which, especially Yannick, very surprising to see him possibly being out of qualifying. I'd expect to see him in the top 5 here, not in the bottom 3. So we'll see what he can manage in his Williams once he heads back out onto track. Lenny Papinta thinks his lap time also is good enough, along with his fan picking in. I'd say we'll probably see the top 7, top 8. No. 7th down, 8th down, head out onto track to set some final lap times. Topias is coming down in towards turn 12, and unfortunately, he's down by 1/10 of a second. So this could be it for the FER driver.
Yep, Flores heading out. There's one of the Haas cars out there too, and that is, well, Flores is out. Oscar Villacampa's leaving the pit lane. One of the Haas drivers were, I don't know if it's Andre or Tristan. It's Andre who's heading out there. And now they're just interfering with the end of play. But this is looking good here for the Mercedes. Out of the last couple of corners then. And into the pit lane, never mind.
Lillian's on lap. He's just coming out of turn 7. He's up by nearly 3/10 of a second. So this is a very decent lap so far for Lillian. Seeing if he can get himself possibly in towards that top 5, maybe even higher. Maybe a bit closer to his teammates, who is on a 109.085. Heading down now in towards the hairpin. Brake late, about 100 metres. 3/10 up on his lap time. So currently on looking for a 109.2. But you can find a lot of time, especially in that final 2 corners at turns 13 and 14 at that chicane at the Wall of Champions. Kodun Ngolo thinks that time of a 109.127 is enough to get through. Could be a bit of a risk, but every driver here should really, I think, well, some of them should be in a position to try and take a risk. You never know. And Lillian's invalidated, so that could be him done for qualifying. We'll see if he has time to go again when we see how long's left of the session. He was up by 5/10, so that would have put him on to a 9 set, about a 0.9, I think would have been 0.9 high. And I don't think
too much entry.
I don't think there's enough for him to go again, is there? I don't think he's going to have enough fuel. So could be it for Lillian, but we'll see if he can go again. 1 minute 37 left, so he can't go back into the pits. We've got Oscar Villacampa, who's going to be the first one setting a lap time at the final part of this session. Paul Eckelmeyer's retired on that 0.2. That, I would say, is a very big risk, considering the drop zone's only 2/10 back.
Yeah, fuel light was flashing as well for Lillian, so not going to do anything there. Here's Oscar Villacampa into turn 7. Oh, only off on his own best time by 49,000, so he's still got some time to find up with it as the DRS activates down. It's an odd number round, isn't it? So I've got the lights later, and then you've got the finish, right? I can't remember how we do it.
Yes. He's invalidated. Oscar Villacampa is invalidated. So Travis Fires is also invalidated. Tristan Dermical's up on his time. He's up by 70,000, I believe. Or no, he's not. He will be soon. That was a bit of a glitch on the lap data. So he's heading through in towards the end of this first set. He's down by 61,000, so a 19.354. So we'll see what he can do. I'm going to go on board with Yannick Schmidt. We'll see where he is. He's also heading down in towards the hairpin. We'll see what he's up in set 2. He's up by 2.5 of a second. That is still not good enough to get him out. He needs to be up by at least 4 tenths of a second to get himself out of Q1. So this could be it for the Williams driver, which is a big shame because Yannick Schmidt is very quick when it comes to qualifying. I've seen for a long time, and it's very rare to see him being at the bottom end of the order. So we'll see what he can do as he heads down in towards the chicane at the Wall of Champions. We'll see what he can do as he heads up to line. That's Andre Monarch going into 9th position. Yannick Schmidt goes into 9th position, so he's out, or through, I'd say, in towards Q2. Then we've got Mats Grosspointer heading down in towards turns 13 and 14 himself. Leroy Brown into the top 5.
7/10 of a second. Yannick Schmidt's got up there as well in that last sector. So that was a mega run he had with the DRS and ERS power. I was on board with his dash. He was really going for it as Max comes towards the line.
Oscar Villacampa's also down on his second lap. Timo Zelenkiewicz, I think that was popping himself up into 7th. So Flores Fires could be able to qualify, and I think Flores might be, unless he can find this final run, Josh. But I'm not sure if he will be able to.
He's literally pushing as much as he can. He's low on fuel, but he's saved out his ERS power. He's at 60% ERS, but the fuel line is flashing. He's gone through 8 and 9. Comes to the kink and then into the hairpin at turn 10. His second sector time is up by only by 32 thousandths of a second. It's a 2/10 gap to Tristan as well, who's in 15th position. There's a Red Bull in the way as he comes down the back straight away. DRS will be activating. He's going to have to take this line perfectly through the Wall of Champions chicane. This is where the commentary boxes used to be. I can just peer around and have a look. He's nice through it, lot of speed, up towards the wall close, keep to the right-hand side. Is Flores through to qualifying? Answer come there. He is! Both McLarens and TES go through. 2.5 tenth of a second, he managed to get there, Richie.
And TF10, both out in Q1. Paul,
Wow.
just about out by what? That less than half-tenth of a second. Tobias did find in the improvement to get FVR through. I believe this is actually the first on this season. Both FVRs have got through to Q2. It's also a big show as well for Tristan, who's out. He was in 15th, but obviously Floris and Tobias found those final 2 runs, knocking the Vroom driver out. Oscar Villacampa also out to qualify, and Lillian Derbicourt going to be starting from 19th position. Now that is a very big surprise. Race Clutch, 3rd in the championship at 148 points. They're only 10 points back from Veloce Academy, and they're going to drive a starting 19th. And that was without a qualifying ban. That is due on just pure pace. So big shame for Lillian. But Lenny has shown some great pace. He's currently 6th in his session. So we'll see if he can try and work something out for the team. So Joseph Floke was the quickest driver in this session, 69 thousandths ahead of Dylan Warren. Then Matthias van Erven in 3rd. We had Valentin Brufer, Leroy Brown, Lenny Papinta, Timo Zalankiewicz, Istvan Pukki, Mas Grosspointer, and Kodun Ngola rounding out the top 10. Then the 2 TSs of Jan and Floris in 11th and 12th. Yannick Schmitz 13th. Andrew Mona 14th. And Tobias Koivunen getting himself through to Q2 in 15th. The drivers we lost in Q1 were Paul Eckelmeyer, Tristan Derbicourt, Oscar Villacampa, Lillian Derbicourt, and Ika Bainer. Obviously, Ika did serve that qualifying ban. And something else I've also noticed is both the Derbicourts are out, so a bit of a Derbicourt curse, isn't it, here today, Josh? Both out in Q1.
Yes, and that's going to be a bigger shock as well to go forward. They're going to be very interesting to watch in the race later, of course. 36 laps ahead of us, which I'm going to very much look forward to. And that turn 1, how brave are they going to have to be to make up positions? It's a tight first couple of corners. So if I was them, I'd wait until opportunity comes down the back straight and towards the final chicane. Just sort of stay out of trouble on that opening lap. Anyway, Q2 is go.
It is, and we'll see who is going to be first out on track. So earlier on, it was Dylan Warren who went out first. Obviously, he was on the intermediate tyres. We won't have anyone on the intermediate tyres this time around. I believe it will be the Ferraris out. Again, it will be, I think it's Van Pooken leading the way. Yes, it was accepted the right driver at the right time. So if Van Pooken will be first out on track, he'll now be demoted to 4th on track because people further down the pit lane also going out. So it'll be the first one out will be the Williams. It'll be Valentino, it'll be Yannick Schmitz who goes out first. For the start of this Q2 session, then we're going to have one of the SRTs right behind him, being a presumed Joseph Loke. Also, yes, it is heading out on track. Then we've got Matthias van Erven, we've got Jan Halliday, Istvan Pukki also out on the circuit for the start of this Q2. And now, I think anyone we see go out is going to be a surprise because all these drivers have looked so quick, haven't they, in this session? It was, what, 3/10 separating the top 15 earlier on? This time it's the top 10 going through. So I think we could see some very big surprises out in qualifying.
We're going to be in for a very entertaining qualifying. The top 10 are going to be separated, I think, by around about 1/10.5 of a second. That's how close, maybe even less than that. We were seeing 9,000 separating some of those in this previous session. So they're going to be right up there getting it going, and I can't wait to see what we're going to have. Come on, F1 season done. E-Series, the place to be. I mean, with F1 Esports, whatever they're calling it nowadays, are having such a mess, at least we can run an efficient championship and give us some good close racing, and everybody knows when to watch it.
Well, actually, it's F1 sim racing now. They've made a name change for this season. But I still think PSGL series is better. Come on, PSGL series is on top.
Does that mean that PSGL is always on top, but does that mean that we get to use the esports thing if they don't use it anymore? Just
no.
saying.
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not.
Well,
but,
this is the place to be. This is the top tier racing.
And we don't just host an event every month. We host an event pretty much every single week, whether that is on PC or console. So there's always a lot to tune in for PSGL. Mondays, I believe, is console. Then you've got Wednesdays for E-Series/F1. You've got Thursdays as well for the PC Championships. There's always something here at PSGL. And I believe we've also got the GT7 Championship, which is on Fridays or something, I believe. I don't keep up with that at all, I'll be honest.
On Gran Turismo, GT7.
Yes. So lots of championships, lots of drivers taking part in PSGL. So there's always something to watch, indeed. And obviously here tonight, we are here for the 5th round of the E-Series Championship. And it feels a shame to say, Josh, we're over halfway through the season already. It only felt like last week we started out.
It does, doesn't it? Back in Qatar with all the testing that we did. What was it, 3 qualifying ones in a row, and everyone just sort of was like, can we go racing yet? He's like, can we go racing? Then we had to wait a week, and then we finally went racing. I was like, yes. And then it just all hell broke loose, didn't it? And it was great. And I think the race of the year so far for me was Sao Paulo. I thought that was really good. And then I think Monaco is a very close second in terms of how good of action we've had.
See, for me,
saying that.
it was Monaco the best, and I don't think I'd ever imagine saying my favourite race of the season will be Monaco. Dylan Warren up to the line at 109.450, obviously on those, I believe,
Bankers,
used
yeah.
tyres. This one, Puka goes quickest with a 108.981. Yannick Schwitz into second place. I'm just going to try and find who else is coming through. Matthias Van Erven goes quickest at 108.701, so the quickest
That's
time we've
more
seen
representative.
so far this session was a 901 from Joseph Floke earlier on. Now it's been beaten by exactly 2/10 with a 701 from the RXG driver. That's Andre Molnar going into 5th position. We've got Max Grosspointer coming through. We'll see what time he can do for the Veloce Academy team. Goes 6th position. What about his teammate, Timo Zelenkiewicz? He's also coming through. As far as Suarez goes into 6th place with a 0.3. Timo goes into 9th place at a 0.474. Then we got Lipa Pintup going into 2nd place with a 0.930. We've got the 2 FVRs coming through. Josie Floke's invalidated. Jan Halday's invalidated. Leroy Brown is also on a lap. And I don't know if he's on a lap or if he's already completed one now. He's got 5% battery meaning I believe he must have been invalidated last time out. So, the moment in the drop zone are 5 people that haven't set times, being Topias Koivunen, Kodal Nigolo, Josie Floke, Jan Halday, and Leroy Brown.
Just had a thought here. We should have a 3rd commentator join us one of these races, and one of the drivers from the other teams who's not selected to race that weekend. I think that'd be great to get their insight.
It would be quite biased, wouldn't it, Josh?
Yeah.
A driver from a team. We know how egotistical drivers are in this community. You really think we should trust having one of them from a team in here?
Well, I think one we can trust as well. And you've often said we'll join you in the commentary. I think that'd be quite fun. Do you remember, like in Monaco? Oh no, you're too young. Never mind. I was going to say
Monaco
back when he was racing, Jenson Button wasn't allowed to take part in the 2005 Monaco Grand Prix because BAR Honda at the time were banned for 2 races after a additional fuel tank inside the fuel tank, which held more fuel, which meant that they could have more weight during the Grand Prix. And when it was emptied, it was significantly underweight, which means they could run lighter and faster. So they were banned for 2 races. And in one of those, ITV got Jensen in the commentary box for Monaco alongside James Allen and Martin Brundle. And it worked really well. And thus, the 3 commentator arc was sort of born. And in the UK at least. But I always love having 3 commentators. In fact, Richie, I implement it myself on my own channel whenever we do commentaries. There's always at least 3 commentators because I think it balances it out a bit better. But yeah, driver would be fun to have up here with me and you. That'd be great.
It's something nice. We'll have to look into it one day. See if anyone will be able to. But yeah, definitely be something a bit different to normal. So we'll see what we could do with that. So on track.
Now, one of the other channels are going to nick it from us.
Well,
copyright PSGL.
So we've got. I'm just trying to. Yeah, you said that, and you cut over to me when I was messing with the stream. Of all times, I'm there messaging something, and I'm like, "Oh wait, he's speaking to me." Right, continue. Just waffle about something on the screen. So I've sorted.
He's cancelled it.
I've sorted something on the stream. I was going to say Jan Halday's on an 8 lap. He's heading down towards turn 10 at the hairpin. Then we've got a few other people also on 8 laps, and Dylan, I presume, must have made a mistake because he was quite significantly far back on a 0.450. So something must have happened somewhere on the circuit for him. And I believe the first one we will see.
I think he went off at the hairpin a little bit. I think he missed the apex on the lap.
Well, that's something that's quite common because it is a horrible braking zone. And the thing is, with the drifting, if you end up not drifting, you can lose 2/10. If you end up drifting too much, you can also end up going round. So yes, it does make it quite a difficult corner to navigate. But Jan Halday heading down in towards turn 1 to begin his first lap of this qualifying session. His teammate Forrest Fires is currently sitting in the top 7. Hopefully Jan can get TES through to Q3, which I would believe will be the first time both TESs have got themselves through into the 3rd part of qualifying. So that's something I think they both need. And I think Jan and Flores, if it's anyone in that roster, those who have got the pace to do it. And as I say, that Jan hits the wall on the exit of turn 4 as he now heads down towards turn 6. But still has a decent first set for a 19.189. Still, within the ballparks of the quick driver. So I'm sure that hopefully didn't harm him too much.
So yeah, just an awful sort of interfering part of the circuit, isn't it? I don't like it. It's difficult to get it right. But yeah, just watching. I'm watching Dylan's lap time in the first sector. He was okay, and he's just keeping it calm. All the yellow flags out on the circuit as you're keeping with Jan as he comes down towards the hairpin.
He's gone really deep.
Oh,
I
he's
switched
way
off into
back.
Dylan, and I think he's
Yeah.
locked up heavily into the hairpin.
Yeah.
He was off circuit, so yeah, that's
He
Jan
is, yeah.
Hurday's lap time done. Leroy Brown, he's heading down towards turns 3 and 4. We need to try and find someone on the lap time. I think we've got Yannick Schmid was up, but he's invalidated. Vanti
Dylan's
Brufair's
2
up by a
seconds off.
10th.
Yeah,
Vantini's
Dylan's
up.
2 seconds. Sorry, Richie. Dylan's 2 seconds off. He's backed off the lap. He had a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I switched over to him down at turn 7 and he did back off there. But Vanti Brufair's up by a 10th and a half in the middle sector. He just had to avoid one of the Mercedes there as he heads down now in towards the final part of this circuit. It's currently on a 109.224 for the Williams team. We'll see what he can do when he heads down in towards the final couple of corners. Through the chicane, past the wall of champions, up to the line. What can he do? As he heads up towards the line, will be P2 with a 108.844. A lot of drivers finding 2 or 3 tenths in that final sector every single time. There's a lot of time to be found in that final part of the track. Yannick Schmid is going to be heading back into pits, won't set another lap time as of now. We've got toppers Kubernen on a lap time, Coldon goes on a lap, and Leroy Brown, I believe, is also on a lap. We'll see what Leroy Brown can do. Can he knock Tima out for the time being? Yes, he can. 4th place for the SRT driver, Leroy Brown. But another surprise, I think, to see so far is Josie Floke being down 14th. That was Coldon now going into 4th place, knocking Dylan Warren potentially out of qualifying as Max Grossporter goes into 3rd position with a 108.874. It's very close to the top. If you ignore Matthias Van Erven, it's what, a 10th and a half-ish between 2nd and 6th. It's very, very close.
Time. Matthias has done a remarkable time. We're watching on board right now as well with Valentin on his lap time. He's close, but Dylan is P12, and that's what we need to see. Is he coming down the back straight away? Has he got enough? He's got 25% of VRS. He's good. Oh, he's invalidated. Too much curb. Coming through the wall of champions, and Dylan's going to be furious. That last lap time was a 109.010, and that would have put him inside the top 10. Oh, no.
P8. It would have put him just beyond his teammate, Van Pookie, who I believe is either on track or headed back into the pit lane. Thomas Covenant doesn't complete that lap. Josie Floke's on an out lap. He's heading down into turn 10. I think he's just letting up with that might be Flyers Fires. Through it is Flyers Fires. We'll see if he's on a lap. No, he's not. He's not on a lap. He has, I believe, let off. I'm not sure, but we'll go on board with him because I'm not actually quite sure.
Yeah, Flores P10. Let's take a look at him on board. 38% ERS with battery with a warning light. I think he's going to go. No, he's boxing, yeah.
So Lenny Papinta also made the improvements. He puts himself 2nd now with a 108.798. I missed that one, but that was a great lap time from the race clutch driver. He's just, 97 thousandths back from Matthias Van Erven, who still is at the top of the timings after setting that lap at the first part of this qualifying session. First part of qualifying 2 session. Josie Floke is just about to begin his lap. He's heading down in towards turns number 1 and 2. So we'll see what the Aston Martin SRT driver can do. His teammate Leroy Brown in the top 6 currently, so doing great job so far for the SRT team. Down towards turns 3 and 4 goes Joseph. Then gets back on the pound nice and early as he comes through into turn 5. Back in towards turn 6 and 7 at the chicane. An 18.9 in that first sector goes purple on our screens in the first set. So a great lap time so far from the SRT driver. Coming down now towards turns 7 and 8. We'll see if he can find much of an improvement or at least find some time in this section of the track. Just gets back on the power, throws the car through, goes very close to the wall on the exit. What time will it be in the middle set to combine with the first? A 40.658 on our screens yet again. Purple in the second set. So at the moment, double purple sectors for Josie Floke. He's now got the final sector to navigate. A long straight with DRS down in towards turns 13 and 14. Then you'll have the wall of champions on your right. So we'll see what Josie Floke can manage to do. As he heads down, he'll break around that, just before the 50, I think. Throw the car in. Try not to invalidate. Get nice on the power on the exit. Up towards the line. I think that is it's a very decent effort from Joseph. It will be quickest with a 108.606. Wow. Very nice lap for the SRT driver. That knocks Flyers Fires out of Q2 temporarily. That also knocks both TES out. And yeah, that's something I don't want, is it? And Dylan Warren even more further out of the drop zone. He needs to find at least 3 tenths on his lap. I think we know he's got the pace to do it, but it's whether he doesn't invalidate his lap.
This is going to be such an interesting Q2 ending in the next 2 minutes and 38 seconds, as those yellow flag graphics are sort of tripping me as well, being in the commentary box looking at it. It's getting really annoying. I wish they'd fix that. But good news, as you said, Richie, I believe way back at a Portugal race in F1 22, You said about the new game engine for F1 24, and it is correct because latest things coming out is that it's going to be a whole new graphic engine for Codemasters on F1 24, the same game engine that's been on their World Rally Championship game that looks beautiful, spectacular, I might add. So that's going to be the game engine for F1. Better handling, more realistic cars, and hopefully just an all new polished game. So I'm really hoping that F1 24 is going to be top dollar bill compared to what we've been having the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think I think a new engine is something we need. I presume the new engine is coming. I don't know if it's confirmed, but I believe it will be. As Joseph Loke the tyres on his 108.60, 6 Le Mans heading out in towards turn 1. So hopefully Dylan can get himself through.
Too deep.
In towards Q3.
Very deep in that first corner. Did not like it. Had to pick it up mid-1 through. As Max gets a penalty, nice through 3 and 4. Gets a little bit of the grass on the left-hand side tyre. It's going to affect him. Into turn 6 and 7. Take a lot of the curb. That's it. Now back on the power. Ease it out. Telling a driver what to do here, but no, you've got it pitch perfect, mate, as he comes down. DRS open. In towards the braking zone for 8 and 9. Just keeping it now in the braking zone underneath. Coming in. Yeah, nicely done. Good on the power at the exit. Not using too much ERS. Still at 84 on my screen, so he's got it pitch perfect. Into turn 10, 11. Down, third gear, 45 mile an hour. Back on the power at the line. Yep. Green light's flashing. How quickly does he activate that DRS? Oh, he's a little bit careful on the throttle power, and he's got a little bit of pickup on his tyres coming out of the hairpin. Joseph Leckie says that's enough for him. He's gone top. Dylan Warren then into the braking zone. Is this good enough to get him in? Doesn't invalidate the lap. Just keep it to the right and we'll see what you can do. Is it quick enough to go through? No!
He's starting a lap now.
Well, on my screen, he was on the lap.
He's starting his lap. He saved his battery to go again. He's heading now in towards turn 3 and 4. This time on lap. Yeah, he did back off. He's on a lap now. He's got full battery, full on the power. So, yes, this is a lap he will do his final lap. Yannick Schmidt out of qualifying for Williams. Wow. That is another big surprise. But Dylan Warren's got to get this lap sorted. He's got to get it clean, as that is also, I believe, Leroy Brown or Andre Molnar making it through into the top 10.
Dylan's doing better on this lap, as you can see. I honestly thought he was coming through with no energy battery. I thought it was just my computer glitching, but he's half a second up. Dylan Warren, he's 15th, needs to get through, but he's taken a lot of curb coming through 15 as well. Going through turn 11. Can he do it? DRS active now. And he's keeping it calm. He's the last one to come through though, Richie. And Flores is 12th position. He might just go through, but it's all eyes on Dylan Warren. He gets a good exit in the last corner, keeps it towards the line. Is he going through from 15th? Oh, he's 4th. Have no fear. Warren is here.
Yes, and Forest Fire is also out of qualifying. Doesn't manage to improve on that lap at 108.985. He sees him out of the session. And 11th, 12th and 13th, all separated by 10,000ths of a second. Very close between Leroy, Tobias and Forrest. But a big shame indeed for Leroy Brown being out of qualifying. Obviously, he was up in 5th earlier on in the session, but couldn't find that improvement he needed in the final run. So he finds himself out of qualifying. Tobias Koivunen as well out in FVR. Forest Fire's out for TES. Yannick Schmidt out for Williams, which is a big surprise. Then we've got Timo Zelenkiewicz will be starting 15th for Veloci Academy. But Vroom have made it through to Q3 with Andre Molnar, which is a very, very good performance. Considering I believe they're 2 points back from FVR, this is the pumps they need, and I think they'll be happy with this.
I feel like we're having a Murray Martin moment. I'm going, oh, he's not done it. He's not done it. He's not on the lap yet, Murray.
No, he wasn't. He was far from it. So the end of Q2.
I wasn't looking at the times. I was looking at the way he was controlling the car. So I wasn't looking up at the screen. That part.
Well, he was flashing, and he was 7/10 down the second set to book. There we are. So, Joseph Loke is the quickest driver in the second qualifying session. He was the quickest in the first part of qualifying. Then we've got Matthias Van Erven in second, the two Ferraris third and fourth, Lenny Pippi Inter in fifth, Valentin Brufair sixth, Max Crossboard to seventh, Jan Halliday eighth, Cody Unigold ninth, and Andre Molnar in the top 10. Then the drivers we lost in Q2 were Leroy Brown, Topias Koivunen, Floris Fires, Yannick Schmidt, and Timo Zelenkiewicz. So, a very interesting final qualifying to come through. And I'm just trying to figure out how many teams are thrown towards Q3. I believe it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 teams through to Q3. which is brilliant. Very, very brilliant. So, we come to start Q3. I know it's a bit early to ask who you think will take pole, but I think it's a perfect time to ask the question to everyone in the chat. Who do you think will take pole position? Because this time you can't just pick the person who's in first after the first runs. Just have a guess. Who you think it will be after that gut instinct? I'm going to say Joseph Float, personally. He top Q1, he top Q2, and I just think he has that winning. Right. He has that winning aura around him, and I've said that he's going to end up starting 10th because I'm going to jinx it somehow. But I think Joseph Float will be my guess for pole. Liam says Max, and also hello Cameron's dad. Nice to see you in here, Jim, as usual. Welcome in to the stream. Sixton says Bart. Oh, Bart's racing, is he? Wow. Didn't expect that one.
Hello, Bart.
No, I don't think Bart's racing. I don't think Bart will ever have the skill to race, to be honest with you, Sixton. So, Joseph Float will be the first out on track.
Yeah, sorry. Millhouse, tell Bart to come home.
What's that from Simpsons?
Yeah, I think he's with Nelson. Nelson?
Oh, Bart's with Nelson. Bart, what are you going to tell us? Yeah. Right, so, Joseph Float, first out on the circuit. He's got the race clutch of Lenny Fabuti behind him, and also the McLaren of Jan Hade as well out on circuit. And Frankie says Max for pole. So two predictions, sorry, for Max on pole. And John Boy says Pookie. So we've got Isman Pookie, Max getting the votes for the qualifying predictions. So make sure to keep it flooding through as the Q3 progresses of who you think will take that pole position. But there's a lot of drivers, a lot of very quick drivers here, isn't there, in this Q3, Josh? I think it's probably the closest Q3 we've had since the start of the season.
It's going to be very fun to see what they're going to do, and I think we're all going to have a very close lights out as well down towards the first corner. Just for the start of the lap time, that was a great game, the Simpsons hit and run, wasn't it? Top tier. Wish we could have an E-Series on that. It was great.
Well, it was...
I loved it. Loved the Simpsons hit and run. Before your time, Rich, or did you play it?
It was before my time, but I could say the Simpsons hit and run does remind me quite a lot of the PS and Xbox side of League Racing. Not being biased, but... and of course, the whole thing now, I'm going to be hating the chat for this now.
Yeah, it's Simpsons hit and run.
Right, so Lenny Papinta is on lap. He's just starting his first lap of the Q3 session, seeing what he can do for a race, which obviously his teammate, Lenny Derbicourt, will start 19th position in the race. Lenny needs to, I'd say, get himself second or first if he wants to put himself comfortable enough to get some very good points for the race clutch team. A 19.102 in that first sector for Lenny Papinta. He's got the final two sectors left to go. He heads down in towards turns 7 and 8. Later on the brakes, drive the car in, get back on the pounders nice and early. Try not to invalidate the car or the lap as you come through. And then you'll head down towards turn 10 at the very hard hairpin zone. Brake just after the 100-metre board, throw the car in. 44.6 I think it was in that first and second sector combined for Lenny Papinta. Purple as well in that second sector. He comes down in towards the final couple of corners with the DRS. Of course, it's a very long run in towards turns 13 and 14 at the chicane. Then you'll obviously have the Wall of Champions on your right. Brake just before the 50-metre, will throw the car in, try and carry as much speed as you can through, and he also invalidates the lap and also need to having a bit of a spin. So that will be no lap sets for Lenny Papinta. Next set on track, I believe, will be Josie Floke. He's heading down, and he's going to head back into the pits. What about the Mercedes of Codon N'Golo? He's going to head into the final corner. No, he heads back into the pits. Then we got the Vroom of Andre Mono. Let's see if he will set his first lap in Q3. The three drivers that have set that will go to set laps have all entered the pits. Andre Mono will complete his lap, and he invalidates, so no lap completed for the Vroom. What about Max Grospoint who comes through the final corner? He will set a lap in Q3 as he heads up towards the line. What will it be for the Veloci Academy? Will be in 109.015. Then we've got Valentin Bruffer as well, heading through. He goes onto that provisional pole with a 108.688.
That's a fantastic lap time. I thought that might be something possible, and Valentin's just knocked out the park. Everybody's forgetting how to brake in that final corner, taking the track limits, but that was brilliant for Valentin. He goes fastest overall, and now we're having to see what's going to happen next, as everybody else has to either trundle back to the pits, start another lap, or just starting their first lap, as this one Pukki's coming out on a run. A very disjointed Q3.
Indeed, yeah. So out of the 7 cars that went out, only 2 of them set laps, being the Williams and the Veloci Academy. Obviously, Matthias, I believe, invalidated. Then we had 2 just go back into pits, and then another 2 invalidate on the laps. Obviously, then it was Max and Valentin who did cross the line. So, Isam Pukki also heading through into the final few corners. We've also got, I believe Dylan Warrant on a lap. He's heading through towards turns 2 and 3 now. We'll see what he can do in the Ferrari. See what he can do. See if he can put himself on pole. I said he'd win the race. I said Joseph Lowe could take pole. I think that's an easy prediction to make, but with the grid being so close, I could definitely be far from being correct. So, through the first sector goes Dylan Moran. I didn't quite catch what he did in that first sector, but it was
19-0-3-4.
But it was purple on our screens. He comes through in towards turn 7 and 8, throws the car to the right, gets back in the pose. You come back to the left, use that curb as you come through. Try not to invalidate your lap as you head down in towards turns 9 at the left, kink, and then into the braking zone at turn 10. We'll see what Dylan Warren can do. That's a decent middle sector from Dylan Warren.
Yeah, first sector, if you heard, it was a 19.034. So it's looking quick. Opens up the DRS. Dylan needs to. He's got through here, literally by the skin of his teeth. Last flying lap. He had it in the hand though, didn't panic. Can he now take it to pole position? Not a curb on the entry, might have made a small oversteer, but this should be a very fast lap for Dylan Warren. And it is! It's a 1:08.538.
Which is our fastest lap time so far at the whole evening, a 1:08.5. The quickest lap time we saw before was the 0.7 from, I think it was. No, sorry, it was a 0.6, wasn't it, from Joseph, I believe, at the end of Q. So Jan Halliday goes into second with a 0.666. Very nice there for the TES driver. We've got Matthias van Erven, who's invalidated on his lap already. Van Pookie is on a lap time. He's heading down in towards the chicane. We'll see what he can do at the start of this Q3 session. His teammate currently sitting on that provisional pole with a 0.538. What can his Van Pookie do? Can he get himself onto the front row? No, he can't, but he does put himself onto the second row with a 0.798. Obviously, some drivers, I believe, will be on used tyres, someone new. I'm not quite sure who's on the used and who's on the new, but we'll obviously work that out as we come through. Matthias van Erven obviously did validate. We got Codon N'Golo on a lap. We've got Joseph Loke also on a lap. They're heading through in towards turn 6. And Joseph Loke has the fastest first set time of this session with an 18.992.
So this is how it's all working then at the moment. I'm loving this. Watching Joseph's lap time. Second sector coming into it. Nice through the chicane. Takes an exit curb. What about down to the hairpin? 50% EOS battery power left. 7th gear. Down on the brakes. Using engine braking. Oh, that was lovely engine braking, I must say. Hello. Oh, I just saw Cameron's dad, Jim's comment. Hello, Jim. DRS open. Joseph down towards the braking zone. Listen to the engine. Using the engine braking. Nice through it. Perfect last corner. Will it be fast enough to get through? It's pole! A 1:08.476 for Joseph Loke. That is pitch perfect by a 10th. Fantastic.
It is, but we've got 4 minutes left, so there's yet again an opportunity for everyone to get their lap times through, and also another opportunity for Joseph to try and improve on that lap if there is any mistakes he made. Don't Pinto in towards the braking zone at turn number 10. Had a bit of a lock-up, I think, on here. As heads out the corner with the DRS down towards turns 13 and 14. We'll see what he can manage, but at the moment it is the SRT. Man, Joseph Loke on pole position, which is great for the team. It's also great for Joseph Loke himself. So, through to the final corner comes Danny Pinto. He will go back into the pits. Codon N'Golo's invalidated, so he won't set a lap. So there's 4 drivers there at lap, being Andre Molnar, Matthias van Erven, Danny Pinto, and Codon N'Golo. And obviously, I'd say Max's lap at the moment I would class it as not very representable at all, because it is 5/10 off the quickest time, which is quite a chug, especially considering how close the lap times have been in Q1 and Q2.
Joseph Loke's coming down, 5th gear into the braking. He'll come in towards the pit lane. He is on provisional pole position for SRT. Very strong opening session. 3 minutes 40 left. Does he need to go out again? I think he might be safe enough actually for provisional pole, but I think would he take the gamble of, okay, might want to go out, just see if I can go faster in case I lose pole?
Well, I think people have definitely got the capabilities to beat it, so I don't think it would be wise at all to stay in the pits. I think you'll always go out no matter what to try and improve that lap. If you stay in the pits, you could lose 2 or 3 positions. You don't know what other drivers have got in the bag. You don't know. Maybe Jan's time it was a 0.66, mate. 666, maybe he lost 2 tenths of the corner. You can't take the risk of thinking, oh, maybe they didn't, because all drivers here have got the capabilities to take pole position. So we've got a few people out on laps. We've got Dylan Moran, he's just heading out the pits, along with the race coach of Lenny Pinto, who's currently not got a lap time, so he needs to throw everything at this final lap, and we'll see what they can all do. But the gap between first and second currently is about 0.5 of a second between Joseph and Dylan, and those two are probably the 2 quickest, I would say. I expected to go into this, Dylan and Joseph, so I think it's not a surprise to see those two at the top of the timings. And we've got obviously Lenny Pinto, driver I expect to see as well in that top 5. Obviously not got a lap time under his belt just yet, but has got time to get another lap in. 2 minutes and a half left to go. So everyone has got a chance to set another lap, and I think they're all just heading out the pits now. Just a couple who are in the pits at the moment.
Yeah, I've just thought I hope one day I get to stream one of these because I know you're controlling it all. But when I do, I was just thinking how I'd do it. I'd use a controller to turn all the graphics on. And then for quick side-by-side angles, you can use it for you can turn it to the side to have a look when it's side-by-side battle links and everything. And,
Would be nice, that would, but I don't think it's possible.
yeah. Oh, it is. I've done it.
In
I've had
Spectator.
a go at it. Yeah, I've had a go at it. Just plug your controller in, make sure it's all set up, then you can use keyboard and controller at the same time. It's possible. Yeah. I've tried it, but I just can't stream. I was just daydreaming during the commentary because I was looking at your shots and I was thinking about what I'd do.
Right, so Dylan Warren will be the first man to set a laptop at the end of this Q3 session. 1 minute and 40 left to go. So he could realistically go for it again, but it depends if you've got the fuel and the battery to do so. So he comes through in towards turns 1 and 2, gets back of the pair nice and easy, heads down now in towards turns 3 and 4. See if he can beat that laptop of Joseph. Remember, Joseph is just half-tenth clear, so it isn't that much at all with Dylan Warren to try and gain. We'll see if he can gain in the first set to through. And he's up by 70 seconds. That's already enough to beat that lap time from Joseph Floke. But Joseph, I believe, will also be on the improvement. So, Dylan Warren out of turn 6, 6 and 7, down towards turns 8 and 9. We'll see if he can find the improvements in this part of the circuit as he sums on the brakes, gets back in the power, try not to invalidate as you come through. Okay. Very nice so far for the Ferrari. Then he moves to the left as his teammate Ison Pook is also getting ready to set a lap. Into the braking zone at turn number 10. 1.5 tenths up nearly for Dylan Warren. That's good enough to put himself on to possibly a 0.3 if he can get this final set to...
Yeah, what a back to front this would be. Q2 last, up to P1.
It'd be great. I think Dylan's definitely got... Oh, he's got to get a bit of a slipstream from the Mercedes through there. Hops the curbs. Final lap time for Dylan Warren. Can he take that pole position as he comes up towards on? This is a beautiful slipstream. And he does. A 0.3574. The Ferrari driver of Dylan Warren. They were trying to find who else is on a lap time. Jan Halliday is on a lap. He started one. We got Van Brufez, who's up by a 10th in that middle set. We'll see if he can find enough to try and take that provisional pole away.
Joseph Loki's up by a 10th of a second as well in Sector 2. So this is all going for it, mate. This is going to be a very close end to the session.
It will, as Lenny Pipinta won't set a lap. He invalidated. Van Brufez, bit of a snap on the exit at the final corner. What can he do? He goes into third position provisionally. Then we got Matthias van Erven, who's heading down in towards turns 13 and 14. Can he try and take that provisional pole away from Dylan Warren into the final corner? Back to the left he goes, and then he'll go up towards the line. What would it be for the RX driver? Can he try and take pole here today? No, but he does go into the top 4. Then we've got Joseph Floke. Can he try and take that pole away from Dylan Warren? He's up on his time. No, he can't. He doesn't find any improvements in that lap time for Joseph Floke, so it would be second at best for him. Andre Mono goes into 7th position. Then we've got Max Grossport. He's invalidated. What about Codwell Ningolo? Can he find something in his lap time? Into the final couple of corners he comes. Through the wall of champions up towards the line. He invalidates. What about Jan Halliday, the final drive to set on? Can he try and take anything out of the top 4 as he comes up towards the line? Yes, he can. It's a front row for Jan Halliday in TES. What a lap time. Oh my, that is brilliant for the TES team, and that is something they need.
Lenny Pipinta's coming in the last corner as well, sliding up towards the line, looking to be a good one. It might not be pole position, but it'll certainly be up there. It's in P6, third row. Good lap time, 108.552. What a qualifying!
Wow. Jan Halliday the top 2, that was not on the cards in my eyes, but brilliant stuff there from all the teams. Joseph Floke for SRT, their best qualifying position in this series, 3rd. Then we've got Dylan Warren starting on pole for Ferrari. They're going to look to make it 4 wins this season. Obviously, missing out on the win in Monaco, but they did get 3 wins earlier on. I think it was 2 for Ison Pook, 1 for Dylan Warren, who takes pole position by a 10th of a second today to Jan Halliday in 2nd. Then we have Joseph Floke in 3rd, Van Brufez in 4th, Matthias van Erven in 5th, and Pipinta 6th, Ison Pook 7th, Andre Monar 8th, Max Grossport in 9th, and Codwell Ningolo unfortunately didn't get a lap time set in the session. He will start in P10, but we will have that mandatory restart, I believe, for the race.
I love what Jan Halliday's just put in the chat. At Dylan Warren, with that slipstream, I would get the pole. Nah, JK, GG's.
Well, it was that slipstream definitely helped him, I think. That's definitely for sure.
15th and seconds away from elimination in qualifying 2 to a 10th on pole position. Dylan Warren and especially Ferrari just can't give up, can they? They are dominating.
They are, but it's Ferrari, but I don't think of that IRL. That's definitely for sure. But no, in the E series, they're definitely, I'd say, the best team. They've took multiple pole positions. They've took 3 wins, looking to take a 4th win in 5 rounds. They are pretty much the definition of Max Verstappen.
Oh, you better get off the screen. Yeah, because this is the test race, isn't it? Before they all go in. Hello.
Well, I believe we will have the restart. So we're going to have a quick word from our sponsors over at GT Omega. We'll be back with you very, very shortly. So welcome everyone back to the stream. Obviously, very nice to have an... Hang on. We're muted.
Are we? Hello?
Hello? Is the stream broken? So I'm getting
Can anyone hear us?
I've got 248 dropped frames.
Looks okay to me. Hello, everyone. Let us know in the chat if you can hear
Yeah,
us.
can someone just put some in the chat say if we're here? Because I've got 250 dropped frames at the moment. And I'm hoping the stream hasn't just died on
Well,
me.
I'm watching the stream and it seems to be okay. Give me a second, I'll see. Hang on. No, they can hear us. They can hear us.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Okay,
Hello.
that's good.
Sorry, we just had a bit of communication there.
Yes, it said I had dropped frames, and I thought for a second the stream died because no one put anything in the chat either. But no, there we are. So we are back, and we've obviously got to have the restart first of all before we're heading towards the race. And there we are. So you can all hear us. And Elliot says no. Well, Elliot, if you said no, how did you hear me ask the question? Very weird. So, but we will get underway very, very shortly. But what a qualifying session that was at the end. Dylan Warren on pole. Jan Harday in the top two. TES have had a pretty, I'd say, mediocre start to the season. Currently sitting, I believe, in 7th in the championship, right behind SRT. I think they're on 75 points, and they're starting on the front row for the Canadian Grand Prix. Now, Jan's tactic, I would say, probably would just to be try and keep it a bit more conservative on those opening laps, because it's not very often we see them up in the top two. I think they should save these moments and just try and get through the first couple of laps, and then they can push afterwards. Because if you end up pinning it down at turn one and lap one, it's all that motivation and confidence going into the race is completely gone. You'll be right at the back of the grid and you've got to start all the way again. But if you can just keep it conservative, even if that means he loses position to turn one, he can still keep himself in that top three, top four later in the race if they got a great strategy going. They can then try and fight back. So
absolutely, yeah. As we're going to be very interesting to run into the first two corners. It's the danger point, isn't it, on the track? And I'm always amazed that they never adjusted it any other way. It's very hard this circuit to make any big changes. I mean, they did back in the 1979 season because the first version of this track was awful as well. So they made major changes. So now we love it. We're just trying to get into the lobby now.
Yeah,
this is the one thing.
Right, we're in the lobby. We've got 11 drivers in. Obviously, another thing to mention I kind of forgot about was the fact that Ikebaina started the last. It's quite a shame to see people get quali bans, especially when sometimes it's not even due to an incident. Sometimes there's something when it can to be done with the deadlines or something to do with Shoes inquiry, not obviously getting all the stuff you need to be put in there. So it is, it's a big shame when a driver has to start the back, especially when it's someone like Ikebaina. He's a very quick driver. He's always. He's always, well, in PSF1, PCF1, and I think he's over in WR as well. He's always, in that top 5, top 10 area. But now he's starting, last?
Well, a back to front is going to be incredibly interesting to see what he can do then. And he's one of the drivers that can be faster and will be faster to make it possible. So I'm seeing this is a bit of a good thing that we're going to have him right there going for it straight away.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. Obviously, it's also then strategy as well. He could start maybe on the soft, try and push through, but he could also start on the hards and try and just see how long he can go and then move over to a set of soft. Obviously, safety cars around here could be possible. There's lots of walls, so if there is safety cars, then that could definitely help the lots of Ika, who's a little bit further back. Then he can try and change onto a different strategy, maybe if he wants to, try and push himself through. But I think lots of Dylan and Jan, in the first few laps, they're just going to try and keep it calm. Don't go too guns ablaze on the first opening laps, because the last thing we want to see is drivers going round. Especially, it's a shame where everyone on the grid, but if you start first and second, you don't want to see the front row drivers round at lap one, do you? No. At turn one, it kind of, in a way, just through the atmosphere of the stream as well. Because it's like, you've read them up through qualifying, you're excited to see what they can do in the race, and it's like, oh, turn one, they're round. Big shame. There's nothing you can do at it then, is there? But then obviously you do also get the things where people who started in 10th move up to like 7th in the first lap, and it's like, oh,
it all goes crazy.
Yes, it's Canada. I think we'll see some crazy things happen. Not as much as Monaco, because going into Monaco, I didn't expect a good race. I didn't expect it to be wet. And Dylan Warren attempted a last to first. It would have been a last to first if his game didn't select hard instead of Inter's.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaking moment, wasn't it? And
It was
I
a
was
shame. I was quite sad to
when
see
I
that
saw
happen.
when I saw it, I was like, no, no, no. I literally sort of went into my chair like, no.
Yes, it was.
And as well,
I
then
saw
I
it and
finished my cake.
I couldn't even believe it at first. I was like, "What? There's no way. It's got to be
I
a
know.
glitch." But
I remember you saying.
I think he accidentally clicked on it at the last second. I think it was literally like a split of a second thing where he didn't set it in time, or it went from Inters to hards. So yeah, it was a shame to see that happen for Dylan. At first, I thought there's no way he's going to take them out, and then I was, after a couple of seconds of reassuring myself, yes, definitely, there's no way he's going to take those out. But yeah, he ended up finishing, I believe, in about fourth position in that race. So he did try his best. He did do a good job, and he did get some decent points for the team. It was still in the championship by about I think it's 41 points to Veloce Academy, who as well, I'd say that was got to be race of the season, I think, in general, from any team. Finishing first and second, Richard and Daniel, two drivers I didn't expect to see on the podium. Richard coming into it, took pole by 0.2 of a second around Monaco. A pole by 0.2 is massive. It was, I think, a 0.6 at the end of his lap. Everyone else was on 0.8 or 0.9, so it was a stellar effort from Veloce Academy. They're not starting first and second this time, unfortunately. I think they're starting maxes around that P8, P9. Then I believe that it was Team Roof starts 15th, so they're so a little bit further back than this time. But obviously there is points all the way down the grid, so they can still get points no matter where they finish, as long as they do finish the race, of course. Then TAS, they've got one driver through into Q3, starting on the front row, and then Falaris, unfortunately, going to be starting. I believe it was. Did he get through into Q3? I think he got knocked out, didn't he?
Knocked out, didn't
yeah,
get in
13th place.
yeah.
So Flores is going to be having to struggle and try and work his way through the field. But Flores has been around for a long time. He's been around a lot longer than I have. I believe he was, esports, it was either 2018, 2019 or 2019, 2020. Obviously for Haas in the Pro Series. So he's got enough experience in league racing under his belt. He's, I think, got enough experience around this track as well under his belt. So we'll see what he can do from all the way there and back on the grid. But a biggest surprise for me is probably Matthias van Erven. Pro Series driver this season, obviously part of the Alfa Romeo squad, starting fifth here. I expected to see him on the front row, not starting down in fifth. So it's a bit of a shame in a way for our RHG, because when you're fighting for when you're attempted to try and fight for the championship, a fifth place is not good. For some of the teams, fifth place is amazing, but for RHG, they shouldn't really be happy with the fifth. They should be looking for the thirds and seconds, or realistically, shouldn't they?
Interesting that Paul's jokingly just said in the Discord, "Time for rain," as well. It's just yeah, that's what Dylan Warren said. I hope it is. I never got a wet race in Monaco. I wasn't here.
Monaco, Canada.
So no, last week I wasn't here. Yeah. That's why I want a wet race here in Canada. Anyway, 35 laps ahead of us. We're gearing up and coming in. It could be a random time as well to get going for it. So we've got to wait and see exactly when we will go to green flag running. Paul says in it as well. Lobby is ready as well. So hopefully all going to go. Paul says, it's going to happen full wet. So getting into the procedure. Yeah, imagine if it is full wet. I can't
that
wait.
Would be something. It'd be interesting around this circuit for definite.
Yeah. Well, I've got a 19-second countdown. I don't know if that means loading is into the lobby or not, but we're looking forward to it here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve on the Ile Notre Dame, a man-made island in the St. Lawrence Seaway. It is an absolutely wonderful event. And we're loading in now. Is it wet? Yes,
it is.
Is.
It's wet.
Yes.
Paul got it. It's not quite full wet, but it is going to be Inter's wet.
I'm seeing intermediate tyres in the pit lane. So this is going to be a very interesting run down to the first corner. So remember, there is no formation lap. So the first time these drivers are going to have the opportunity to experience a braking zone into turn one will be when the lights go out. Richie, this is going to be insane.
Well, and hopefully they all make it through in towards turn one. It's wet conditions. It's got to be interesting. Hopefully we can find out as well in the chat if anyone knows if it will dry up or if it will stay wet, because that also helps us work out what drivers are going to do on the strategy.
We are waiting. The drivers will be told. We're just seeing if any of them tell us. They've got a countdown when the last driver is prepared. The word is flood if it keeps sitting out. So this is going to be very interesting down towards that first corner. And everyone just waiting for the command to be given with the green flags. Everybody now will be vastly changing everything, making sure it's set up to be good. The changeover, pit stop times, intermediates, they can go around about 24 laps, but you want to have as fresh as possible, because if they start balding and the track's still wet, you'll be sliding off as well. I always describe it, it's like playing snooker without anything on your cue. 4, 5 lights. Here we go. Lights out in Montreal. It's a good start for the Ferrari of Dylan Warren. Jan Halliday's going to come across down towards the first corner to try and get across and run. Here we go. There's contact already. But up into third position goes Joseph Logue. Valentin's down to fourth. Dylan Warren leads the way as everyone just trying to survive. Esteban Pukki further back in a little bit of a battle with Lenny Pipinta. And there's drama. Lillian's down to 18th position. All is well for the Ferrari at the start for Dylan Warren. He leads the way as the rest of the field navigate the spray. As side by side, you saw Flores up into 13th place. It's still drama as we go through. Flores down to 13th, and there's mayhem. Yannick Schmidt up to 14th. Tristan Damacon up to 15th. Lillian Damacon up into 16th position. Iker Beneo up to 17th as we come to 8 and 9. Trying to go on the outside was Iker to try and make the move on Tristan. He's done it, and there's contact. Tristan's round. Tristan is round and down into 20th.
Yes, and also we've also got Joseph Logue getting himself ahead of Jan Halliday down at the hairpin. Look at all the cars filing through. That's also going to be Ikebana looking to get 2 positions in one corner. We'll go on board with the RHGs. I head out of the turn 10 down towards turns 13, and he's got the move ahead of Tobias, but Tobias is around the outside. He's going to try and get it in towards turns 13 and 14. Will we see a pass between the FVR and RHGs? They head in towards the braking zone, and no Iker a little bit too far back has let off to let the FVR through, but a massive slide from the FVR now allows Iker to go back up the inside as they head back down towards turn 1. Dylan Warren going to be fine. Dylan Warren's going to be... Jan Halliday! I mean, Joseph Logue's made contact with Dylan Warren at turn 1. Dylan is going to go wide. That's allowing Jan Halliday to take the lead. Vanteen Brufair in second. Dylan Warren down to 4th position. I'm not sure what happened there.
Matthias van Erven takes second. I'll tell you what, I mean, it was just a lock-up and a run into the back through the first 2 corners. It was the category 9 to 1 doesn't mean. And Valentin Brufair just hits the back of Matthias van Erven coming through. Dylan Warren still in 4th position. An absolutely outrageous manoeuvre trying to go back through. But it's Jan Halliday now in the lead. And now Dylan Warren's falling back into the clutches of Lenny Pipinta and Esteban Pukki in 5th and 6th positions. What a tremendous opening couple of laps we're now getting in.
Yeah, I didn't know what happened there, as Dylan Warren's now looking to try and take back third from Valentin Brufair in towards turn 10, gets himself into third, put ahead of the Williams, and now Lenny Pipinta looking for a move on the Williams as well as they head out to turn 10, through and towards turns 11 and 12 at a bit of a kink to the right. Normally there'd be a DRS, obviously there's no DRS now as they're in the wet conditions, and it's laying to the inside, but a great run from Valentin on the back of Dylan Warren. Can he try and take back third? He will look for it, but has to back out in towards the braking zone, not close enough there to make a move on the Ferrari. They come into the final corner, down towards turn 1 again, and Jan Halliday's now got a 1 second lead to Matthias van Erven, who started 5th now in 2nd position. Further back, Lillian into 14th ahead of Flyers Fires, who's now had a bit of a poor start. He's down to 16th position as he's still fighting with Paul Eckermann. We're going board with that battle in towards turn 1. They're all running deep in towards that first corner. They're going 2, 3 wide through out of turn 2. They're going 3 wide in towards turn 3. Ikebena's looking for a move on 3 of them. He's going to have to back out somehow as they head in towards there, down the hill. Can he get back on the podium to try and make a move on Flores? No, he can't. He's a little bit too far back. Lenny Pipinta into 4th, fighting with the Williams of Valentina Brufair, who's got the inside line. Bit of contact. Lillian. Lenny tapping the wall. It's Van Pukki now looking to make a move up the inside of Valentina. They heading towards the braking zone. And he's got the move. There we are. It's Van Pukki into the top 4. Joseph Logue obviously having that incident then at turn 1. He's going to try and make some amends and get himself back through. As now we've got Lenny trying to fight Valentina again. This time for 5th position.
And Richie got to say, Flores Wires into the wall, make contact as well with Iker Beneo. They've gone down to 19th position. Dylan Warren up to 2nd, passing Matthias. As we see Max up to 7th, passing Joseph Logue. Courtney Golo up to 10th, passing Leroy Brown. Here comes Dylan Warren down the straight, trying to have defence from Matthias in 2nd position. Not going to pay off there as they come through. Leroy Brown up to 10th position as they get through into the chicane at the end of the straight. We've seen this before from Jan Halliday back in Formula 2 in wet conditions and an early Montreal. He took the lead at the start, had a better run as they come forward as well. That's behind, and there's contact in the first corner off the track, and they race out. That's Max. Joseph floats off the track. Andre Mona goes through, and round the outside goes Leroy Brown. The two SRTs having a bit of contact as we get back on the track. Joseph Float losing his advantage he had.
Yeah, a bit of contact. I think that was with Max Gross pointer in towards turn 1. It's now knocked him down to P10, and what a shame this is for Joseph Float. Started third. It was the best position that the SRT team have had this season in qualifying. Now it's back down to 9th and 10th for the team collectively. Big shame for the SRT crew indeed. And then we can look at the gap between the top two. Dylan Warren's got a 5/10 gap to Jan Halliday. He's gained 5/10 on this lap alone on the TES drivers. They head down to the braking zone at turn 10. Matthias van Erven's about a second back from the top two. And then Van Pook is going to try and gain some time. He's 1.3 seconds back, 1.5 seconds back from the top three as they all head out down towards turn number 13. But Lenny Papinta, I think he still wants to get that move ahead of Van Bruffair, but he just never got a good enough run to make that move stick. He always gets himself alongside, but never ahead of the Williams as they head into the braking zone at turn 13. And you can see Lenny there just letting off completely, not bothering, even trying to close in much more in the braking zone on the back of the Williams. Down towards turn 1, Dylan Warren has the fastest lap of the race at 1:18.5. Look how quick that gap has come down. It's 2/10. Dylan Warren is pretty much pushing Jan Halliday through turn 2 within a lap. Earlier on, he was about a second back. He was behind Matthias van Erven.
Very close stuff then. He's going to make the move, I reckon, coming into turn 8 and 9. Slipstreaming through this 3 and 4 chicane. Then you go round the casino, and Dylan can sense it coming back to him. He got him fairly taken out by Valentin on the second lap of this race, as we've got Kovalen there with a 3-second time penalty. So Top Ass is going to have to take that down in 17th position for FVR, and Ika Benea down in 19th. After contact with Flores Wires, they're now down and struggling at the back.
Yeah, big shame for Iko. Just he tried to get many moves, but he could have actually been in 15th, 16th position by now. But every time we went from him, there was a bit of chaos ahead, and he's still stuck down in 19th for the RXG team. So we need to try and figure something out. As you can see there, Lenny Papinta closing in on Valentin Bruffair, Leroy Brown ahead of Andre Molnar as they head out of turn number 11. But you can still see Joseph Float's going to try and gain. Can he try and get himself ahead of the Vroom driver? We'll expect Leroy and Joseph to try and work together to keep that Vroom shortly behind both of them as they head in towards the breaker zone. But Andre has got himself ahead. Leroy back up to the inside in towards turns 13 and 14 now. Is it a good exit from Joseph Float? Yes, it is a great exit from Joseph, but he just hasn't got the speed to match then the straight on the back of that Vroom as they head in towards the breaker zone at turn 1. Yannick Schmidt ahead of Kodun and Golo in towards turn 1 as well to pop himself now into 12th position. But big shame for Topias to get a penalty on the first couple of laps. That is a big shame to get three invalidation warnings in just 6 laps of a race. That could definitely give him some challenge, couldn't it, throughout the race if he keeps doing that more and more and more. Oops. But look at that gap between the top 4. It's increasing. Jan Halliday still has the lead, but it's 1.3 seconds back to Matthias van Erven and 2 seconds back to Van Pook.
Joseph Float just did an amazing move around the outside of Andre Mona coming into turn 7. So he's made his way up into 10th position as well. No, 9th position. Just Dylan Warren's right up there. He's going to go on the inside line to the braking zone at the hairpin. And Dylan Warren's going to try and outbrake Jan Halliday. Jan tries to take him wide. He'll get the cut back and then the slipstream down the straight. But Dylan Warren, as things stand, retakes the lead here in Montreal. But here comes Jan Halliday. Won't have the DRS. He's got much more battery though. At 72%. He's going to try and look to the inside line. Surely he can't do a move into the braking zone, and he can't. Dylan Warren retakes the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix.
But it was a poor exit from Dylan, though.
Yeah, and Jan's going to try and come back. He thinks about a move on the inside line. If he's going to be brave, no, it's a foolish one. As into the pits comes Yannick Schmidt. That must be damage. Yeah,
we'll see what happens to the Williams. It must have been some sort of damage because you wouldn't be coming that early in, would you, surely, for new tyres. But you can see the round has stopped, and what will it be? It will be medium tyres. So medium tyres for Yannick Schmidt. Now, does he think that the track is dried up? Because it is dried up. Because the rain stopped. It was raining at the start. It's not raining anymore. So the track will slowly start to dry up. So that could lead to a perfect strategy from the Williams crew if they've got it right. Now, we can see the gap between Matthias van Erven has actually come down, hasn't it? Because Jan Halliday's dropped back from Dylan nearly a second. It's brought Matthias van Erven back in within a second of the TES drivers. They head through towards turns 8 and 9. Paul Eckelmeyer into 13th ahead of Lillian Derbical. They're still going to fight side by side with Oscar Villacampa sitting right behind this battle as well, and Paul has got the move complete in towards turns 8 and 9. Great move there from the TF10. They started 18th and 19th. They're running 13th and 15th. Great start from those over at TF10. As we can see a little bit further ahead, Valentin Bruffair on the back of Istvan Pukki. Istvan's dropped quite a little back off the front crew, hasn't he? He's 2.1 seconds back now off of Matthias van Erven.
I'm looking on board with Yannick Spitz right now. He's having to be careful with the throttle, but so far he's not spinning out. The track seems to have grip for him. He's coming down to the hairpin, and he misses the apex by country mile, but I would say it's about a lap away. I think he's going to make a good choice here.
Molnar as well. They're all into the pits, so well, 3 of them thinking that it is time to head on to some different tyres. We'll put the tyre graphic on the board so we can see. No.
Yeah, there's different. No. It's hard tyres for Joseph Lowe. Andre Mona takes mediums. Paul Erkenheimer is on mediums as well. And Tristan Davenport's in the pits as well. Looking at the front of the field then, already, Dylan Warren's put on a 1.2 second advantage to Jan Halliday, who's then 6/10 ahead of Matthias van Erven. So there's a long way to go in this race, but the pit stops are coming for dry tyres.
Definitely.
Now, are they going to try and wait and go to soft tyres? Because they'll be the best in these conditions. Mediums will take a DRS enabled. That'll be the cue for everyone then to come in to change tyres.
Yeah, they need to pit soon, but the issue that some teams have got is they might have teammates all together. Look at, I believe, well, Max and team are there across on track, but they've still got a 3-second gap. But there will be teams that have drivers very close together. They will need to pit, but not double stack because that could cost them time, a lot of time.
Advantage, Valentin then in 5th position, whose teammate Yannick Schmidt's already come into the pit lane. Advantage for the TF10 and Voska Villacampa.
Yeah, and also, even for the Istvan Pukki, yes, he's only in 4th, but he is how far back from Dylan Warren, who actually stays out. Istvan Pukki will not pit this lap. So you can see now the more pitting, Istvan Pukki takes the lead. He has decided not to pit. Now, Joseph Lowe, where does he come out in all of this? Can he try and take that lead back? Because obviously he pitted earlier on these hard compound of tyres. He's got a 1.8 second gap to, well, now Yannick Schmidt, who just overtaken Andre Molnar towards turn 13. And we'll see. Medium tyres mostly through the field, but we've got Max, Leroy and Tima on the hard tyres. Now, will we see a lead being taken from Joseph? No, we won't. But he will try and close in. Where does he come out in all this? He will come back out in 10th position for Joseph Lowe. So it didn't really help him too much, did it, pitting earlier? But he kind of kept him around where he is, but it hasn't really helped too much. Yannick Schmidt's got 2 lap older tyres, so he could be under a little bit of an issue with the fact his tyres are older than the others. He wants to take them 2 laps more than everyone else, depending if he decides to pit again or not.
I think they'll have to stop again for soft tyres towards the end of this race. These mediums will get destroyed as the track dries out. So I'm thinking soft tyres. Those on the hards, they're going to be the ones to watch. So Max, Joseph, Leroy, Timur and Tristan, they are going to be the ones, I think, with the biggest advantage in this race because they can go longer and then just take soft tyres to the end. Those on the mediums are going to have to really hope there's a safety car at some point. And it's still stopping and sliding out there. But we're going to see Istvan Pukki come in, and he has got around about 13 seconds as he's into the pit lane now.
Yeah, so we'll see where about he comes out, but I think he will drop a little bit of where. So he was 4th before, so that's where Valentin Bruffaut is, but I think he'll drop down a little bit further than that, because it'll be about 18 seconds. Limpa Pinta now gets ahead of the Williams after 9 laps, does pop himself into that 4th position provisionally. As we can see, some peak onto medium tyres, Ika and Tobias also into the pits. It'll be medium tyres for both of those. It's soft tyres for Ika, so he's definitely doing a 2-stop in his race. He will have to pit again off of those softs. Fastest lap for Yannick Schmidt with the 1:17. It will be Paul Eckelmeyer that takes the fastest lap, but with the tyres and the track getting better, there will be many fastest laps being claimed, as this one Pukki's come out now in 6th position, right behind Valentin Bruffaut.
This is going to be interesting to note because Matthias has got 67% battery, Jan Halliday 49, but Dylan Warren has only got 38. And Jan's made a mistake coming out of turn 6 and 7, and that's put Matthias right up the bumper. Coming into turn 8, he thinks about to move to the inside line. Jan blocks it off, but this is going to be very good for Matthias to have a run. Jan Halliday making a small error is going to cost him down towards the hairpin, because Matthias is just lining him up perfectly.
He is, and I'm just watching a little bit of battle for 14th. As you can see, Cabana obviously gone onto those soft tyres, and he's a lot quicker than the rest of the field. And I clicked 14th, but it's putting me back onto 4th position, which is going to be Lenny Pinta ahead of Valentin Bruffaut. So we'll see if there's any moves being made there in that part of the track, but I don't think there will be. Obviously, the DRS has been enabled. The track is pretty much dry at this point. There's a few wet patches, but it's mainly dry on the racing lines as they come through. Heading out of turn number 14. We'll see if there's any moves for the lead down towards turn 1. There won't be. And there won't be any moves for second either. Matthias van Erven closing in on Jan Halliday, but not enough to make an overtake in this session. Now, the issue the drivers have got is they've got to get used to driving under dry conditions, so they've got to obviously change all their braking zones and change where they're going to get on the throttle earlier/later.
Paul, look at that. Ika Benaya's on the soft compound tyre. So he's just made a move on Corley Golo up into 13th position. That's going to be an interesting one. So he's going to reverse the strategy, try and take advantage of everyone now, and then later go on to, presumably, a medium compound tyre. So that's going to be a bit more fun to watch in this little battle.
Yeah, I presume it would be mediums for Ika, but we'll see what he chooses to do.
Has to be.
Yeah, I can't see him going to hard. I don't think there'd be much point doing that, would you? Because you can run these for probably about 10 laps, put you onto about lap 20. Yeah, there'd be no point taking hard from there. You might as well take the medium tyres. Yeah, you might as well. Yeah. But we'll see what they decide to do on strategy. If there's a safety car coming through, it might change it completely on that strategy.
Because the race started wet, you don't have to use the mandatory tyres. So it's a free-for-all, basically.
Indeed. So that definitely helps drivers like Ika, who they could even go for a soft if he thinks it's possible. Yeah. You never know.
Don't need to change that as there. Leroy Brown making a move up then for 9th position and gets ahead. So well done to Leroy. He's passed Yannick Schmidt. Yannick's though going to not get that up easily down towards turn 1. And again, going to try and look around the outside. And it hasn't worked out. Leroy back up into 9th. Takes Yannick Schmidt down to 10th.
Fastest lap there from Ika Bernat with a 1:15. And we could see he's now 1.4 seconds back from Paul Eckelmeyer in 12th position. And you can see that gap will come down very easily. And by the end, I think, of this lap, he might even be past Paul.
Flores! 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for Flores Wise. And he was involved in contact earlier on in the race. And that's pretty much going to end his day. That is so annoying.
It is big, very unfortunate for Flores indeed. Obviously, one of his first races back. It's his first race here in E-Series with the TES crew, and he's got a 3-second penalty. He's since sitting in 16th position. I don't think it could go any worse for Flores Wise at this point. Right, heading down in towards turn 10 we go, and I'm on the board with Istvan Puk. He's got a great run on the back of Valentine, but just not got it on the exit as they head down towards turns 13 and 14. Valentine Brufair as well. He's closing on Lenny, but I don't think at this point they're even going to be bothering looking for a move because they've got a 4-second gap to the top 3. There's no point making a pass now unless you need to. Otherwise, you're just going to get back passed on by the DRS again because you're not going to gain 4 seconds when you're on the exact same tyres.
Istvan Puk, he's got a lovely slipstream here on Valentine Brufair in towards the braking zone. That took me a little bit by surprise. I might need a new heart after that. That was very close to the brakes. It was like he ran into the back of him mid-corner. Oscar Villagampa, fastest lap of the race at 1:14.495. As I take some medication to make sure that was not really, but this is unbelievable. Istvan Puk in the Williams and Valentine Brufair in the Williams are just going to go all at it, Richie, and they are so close together again down towards turn 8 and 9.
They are, and we'll see if this can try and make a move next time down towards turn 13 as they come through out of turn number 9 down towards turn 10. The hairpin does not going to be moved here just yet from the Ferrari on the Williams, but they could be probably shortly as well. As you could see, obviously, Istvan Puk is on the better tyres than those ahead. Obviously, 1 lap newer tyres doesn't give him too much of an advantage, but an advantage in league racing is definitely something you'd love. Even if it is very small, it can definitely help you. As now you can see Van Erven right close to the back. Arvian Halliday to the outside line. Can he try and take second? No, but it puts Jan into a defensive position. Needs a better exit for Matthias Van Erven down towards turn 1. Uses battery to the inside line. Will it be second position for Matthias Van Erven? I think it will be into the braking zone. He takes the fastest lap. He also takes second position into the braking zone. Great move there from the RHG driver. Now he's going to try and have to hunt down Dylan Warren for the potential victory, but we've still got 21 laps left to go in this race.
So it's all changed then. For second and third, Matthias Van Erven is playing the long game. He's got more ERS battery than that of Jan Halliday and Dylan Warren, so it's all down to him. RHG are battling out with the top guns now. Can they go after Ferrari, who have won, as Richie said earlier, 3 of the opening 4 races?
And they could be looking to win 4 of 5 races this season, as now Istvan Puk gaining in on the Williams. Is it nothing towards the braking zone? No, it's not. Still stuck behind Valentine Brufair at the moment as they head out down towards turn 10 the hairpin, but there's just no way through. Ika Bernat could also be looking for a move.
Yeah, he's got a lovely run the back of Paul Eckenheimer down towards the hairpin. He's going to lunge it up the inside. I think I would. He's going for it. Up the inside, land the brakes. The Red Bull turns in, and he's just got it there, and he's through. But Paul's got a better exit. Oh, that was close.
Was very poor exit from Ika. I think they must have made a little bit of contact on the exit, so it's put Paul back ahead of Ika. As they head down in towards turns 13 and 14 with Tyson Van Erven yet again taking the fastest lap of the race, closing in on Dylan Warren in towards turn 1, but not close enough to make an overtake just yet. And yet again, it's a DRS game. You never really see people overtake for lead unless they necessarily need to.
Oscar Villagampa with a 3-second time penalty. Joseph Flick with a 1:13.821. He's got the fast lap of the race then. At the moment for SRT, as we see Matthias, we are riding on board with him through the chicanes as well. Can he get a nice slipstream? DRS enabled, so he'll have it down on the run down to 8 and 9, but he's half a second back to Dylan Warren.
Yep, and I'm aboard with Matthias. So he comes through out to turns 8 and 9, down towards turn 10. We'll see if he can make a move. But yeah, again, as we say, there's no need. There's literally no need, because all it will do is cause a bit of contact into someone if you take it too risky, when you can just stay behind. And Jan Halliday's not going to be making much of an attack on the top two, so you might as well just keep yourself behind each other for now. They've got a 4-second gap to Lenny Pipinter in 4th. You know, they're in a really sweet position, the top 2 and top 3 are, because now, even with an undercut or overcut, I don't think they'll even lose it to Lenny unless Lenny's got some really great pace in that Alpine as they come through at the final couple of corners to start lap 15, or it will be lap 16 of 35. As they're heading towards turn 1, and yet again the fastest lap's being broken every single lap because the track is getting better every single lap. Kodo Nigolo ahead of us, Gavila Campa. So they head down towards the chicane at turns 13 and 14. Iswan Puki right behind the back of Valentin Bruffer as they're heading towards turns 1 and 2, but he's not close enough either to make a move. So it's all just people being stuck behind in this DRS train, but it's something we always see at Canada. The DRS trains is now. That's Flores trying to defend from Villacampa in towards turn 2. Great defence there from the TES, and Oscar will be looking to get himself through very, very soon. He's 2.5 tenths back in towards turns 3 and 4. Great exit, but it's not enough to get himself through. Yeah, I think with the DRS, it sometimes eliminates the fact people might be quicker, because there's just no way, you know, there's nothing you can do when people have got strong DRS, especially in all the DRS zones on this track being very strong, I'd say.
They are incredibly strong at this circuit as well, as it's just got very cold in this commentary box all of a sudden. So I'm having to huddle up even more. But the DRS on this track as well, sometimes it's overpowered, sometimes it's underpowered. It all depends on where you are on the track, as Matthias Van Urban is gaining on Dylan Warren into the braking zone. He's got a good slipstream. We get another DRS down the start-finish straight. I think we might be on for an overtake here for the race league. He's using some ERS power, 65%, 64. Dylan Warren with the fastest lap. Matthias is going for it, and he wants to take the lead of the race. He's getting there. Where would he do it, though? Where's the good opportunity? I would say turn 8 and 9. Slipstream on the inside line. Maybe the hairpin, but that's a bit obvious. So Dylan can defend that. Cornerly Gullo, 1:12.776, fastest lap.
Well, the key thing is they're nearly close to getting Jan Halliday out of the DRS. You could look at that gap's 9 tenths as they're heading towards turn 6 and 7. Obviously, Jan will get the DRS for now, but if they can try and break him out at turn 7 and 8, turns 8 and 9, sorry, they could try and make their advantage even more.
Oh, I thought Matthias was going for it there at turn 8. That's exactly what I said. Getting so much more time on Dylan as we come down towards the hairpin. He's not using any ERS battery here. Is he going to try and outbrake the Ferrari? Nah, he can't go on the inside line and take another tight line, get back on the power. DRS activation line is coming up about 180 meters out of this part of the track. 3, 2, 1, now. And he'll reel in the Ferrari, but it's not really an opportunity to overtake. Dylan thinks he's having to go defensive. You can see the Ferrari twitching. Matthias just can't find a way through.
No, but like I said before, I don't think he's too keen on getting through. As they head down towards turn 1, he's about 4 tenths back, so he's not going to be close enough to make an overtaking towards turn 1. Jan Halliday sitting closely behind, well, I wouldn't say closely behind, he's 6-7 tenths back behind, but there's a bit of a slide coming through in towards turns 1 and 2. And then we can see Bruffer as well, just sitting behind Lenny Pipinter in towards the braking zone with Iswan Puki. Now Joseph Floke also sitting in this battle. He's currently in P8, started third in his race. Big shame to see him down in that position. Now the question is, I don't know if the mediums get to the end. The hards, maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not an engineer. I don't know how long the tyres can go. So I presume we'll see them all go to the bits. But the hards, maybe they could try and stretch it out a little bit longer. But then again, I'm not entirely sure. So if anyone knows, that would be great to tell us. Because, yes, engineering and tyre strategies is definitely not my expertise.
So, Tristan Davicourt with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As we take a look at Esteban. Right up alongside with Valentin Bruffer again. Lenny Pipinter just ahead. He's holding up this entire field so far. This little play group together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. 5th to 10th. That'll be 6, wouldn't it? Oh, hang on. Valentin's making a move on Lenny Pipinter, and he's made it stick into the braking zone. Now, can Esteban Puki get through here on Lenny as he comes down towards turn number 1? He's trying to go defensive again. Not going to work out this time, I'm afraid. Lenny Pipinter's trying to go through. Valentin apparently up to 4th position. Lenny's down into 5th. Pipinter and Esteban stays in 6th.
Yep, and also as far as Fires making a move on Kodo Ningolo in towards the braking zone at turn 1 to prove himself into 14th position. So, Ferrari starting to make amends for that poor start here in this race. Tristan Dabicourt gets ahead of Topis as Topis heads into pits. He's onto a new set of medium tyres along with Lillian Dabicourt as well, who went onto an air set medium tyres. He's going to move up to 19th position ahead of the FVR driver. So it looks like medium here for these two, and I think it'd probably be medium for the rest of the grid. In this race, obviously, if you're in the hards, it'll probably be hard soft or maybe hard medium, not sure at all. And Johnny Martin says in the chat that the hards might go to the end, but will easily be caught by fresh medium tyres.
Yeah.
So that makes us think that the hards probably will not be taken to the end by the drivers. But you never know what the strategists decide.
Hang on a minute. Mateus is in the slipstream. Mateus going for it. Is he going to try and take the lead away from Dylan Warren? That's very, very close coming into the braking zone through the chicane. They were side by side. Mateus is going to try and have an attack. He's so close into the braking zone at 1, but can't get ahead.
No,
that was very close, though.
Yeah, and that's also Leroy Brown taking 9th away from Yannick Schmidt down towards turn 14. Further back, we've got Ika Bain looking to try and make a move here on Paul Eckelmeyer. Not close enough in towards the braking zone. Still not close enough. And Ika, I'm very surprised. He's not really making much work in this race at all. He's moved on to soft. He had a couple of laps of overtaking, but he's still stuck in that 13th position, which is really not where RHG should be. Remember, they're fighting pretty much with Williams in this championship. They're, I think, 3 points ahead going into this race. They've got a 2nd and 13th, but Williams have got a 4th and 10th. I think Williams would take that P4 away from RHG at this current point in time. We don't know, though, what can happen to Ika. Maybe the next part of the strategy can really help him move up the grid. If not, they're going to struggle to hold on to that 4th position, I think, after this race, because Yannick Schmidt's making some decent moves in this race, and Valentin Bruffair's comfortable in 4th.
So, Ika Benet in 13th position, 10 lap on softs. Is he going to start thinking about pitting for those medium compound tyres soon? Going off strategy. He's 3/10 a lap slower than his own best lap time. Got to start thinking about it. But Dylan Warren and Mateus van Erven have broken that DRS now to Jan Halliday. He's 1.3 seconds back on this lot at the front. So it's a top 2 battle for the end.
It is, but Jan Halliday's now 7 tenths back as we're heading towards turn 1. So the DRS, you could just get back into it instantly.
Ika pits. We've got 3 in. Leroy Brown on hard tyres. Coming in as well, Ika Benet on softs, and Floris Wires coming in on mediums. He'll take that time penalty, though, for 5 seconds.
Yeah, so we've got
3 seconds.
So we've got a hard, a soft, and a medium all coming to pits at the same time, all pitting onto a new set of medium tyres. So we'll see if that, pretty much at this race, the undercut strategy can work for those guys. As Liam Deb, of course, that's the fastest lap of this race at 1 minute 11.304. And I think the track is pretty much now back into the proper conditions. Lillian up into 13th, ahead of Leroy Brown, who's going to try and fight him back in towards turn 3. Has he got the run? Leroy Brown hasn't, but he has got those 3-lap newer tyres, so we will be in a better position than those behind us. That's Topia's going for a move on Tristan, side by side in towards turns 3 and 4. Great move there, but this is now going to be Cody going up the inside at turn 6 and 7, gets himself into 16th. Tristan now down to P17. Got to try and fight back on the exit. He's got a great exit as they head down, but he's on 13-lap-old hards. We shouldn't really expect Tristan to be defending or really attacking with these tyres.
Oscar's coming in there too. He's not going to be out of this one. So is Ika Benet. So is Floris Wires. They're all going to start going for it. They've just changed tyres, of course, further back. And look at that. It's a massive scrap coming into the braking zone as Lenny Pepinta comes in. Ika Benet up into 18th position as we get ahead. Tristan back through as well. 3 more in the pits. Yannick and Andre come in as well as it's side by side. Ika Benet is going to make a move here and does get ahead of Tristan Dabacourt.
Yeah, but Tristan's going to try and fight back at the inside. No, Tristan, I believe, doesn't go into pit, so he will stay out on these 13-lap-old hard tyres for now. Is he going to get probably moved on by Floris Wires to the inside line as they head down towards turn 1. Soft tyres for Andre Molnar, mediums for pretty much everyone else. There we go. Floris Wires into 17th position. Andre Molnar comes out ahead. He will go side by side with Ika on the exit as they head down towards turn 3. Great exit for both of them. Will Ika keep to the inside line? I think he will as they head into, and Ika Banner keeps that P16 for now ahead of Andre Molnar, but Andre's on those soft tyres. He will be a lot quicker than the RHG at this point.
He's so much faster already. He wants to try and make that move back through. So Ika's now going to be under pressure from the strategy that he's just abandoned, basically, of the soft compound tyres. Andre Molnar's going to be very quick towards the end of the race. As Mateus taking the lead of the race, he has. Mateus takes the lead because Dylan Warren comes into the pit lane. So does Jan Halliday. And Mateus might have been played there as Ferrari come in, as does TES.
And Joseph Loke stays out on those hard tyres along with Matt Crosspointer, of course. And then we can see Jan Halliday onto soft, Dylan Moore onto mediums. So this could be a good strategy from the TES crew. Softs versus mediums in this race between the drivers that were first and third. They're now going to be sitting 6th, 7th and 8th as they head out to the pits in towards turn number 1. And Matthias van Erven now the race leader ahead of Istvan Pukki, obviously also part of the Ferrari crew. Zimas Dalinkiewicz trying to make a move there on Jan. Luckily for Jan, he didn't get himself in the middle because that would have caused a lot of issues for the TES drivers as they head out to turn 3 and 4 in towards turn 6 and 7. Then we can see further back, all the gaps getting very close. 2, 3 tenths all between them all as they head in towards the braking zones at turns 3 and 4, but no one be able to make a move with, of course, that DRS train, which really kind of ruins that element of racing around this track.
So what is Mateus going to do? Will he come in this lap and put on a set of soft compound tyres, or will he come in and put on a medium? We're about to find out. He's coming down towards the pit entry line. I'll tell you if he dives in or not. Surely he will. Has to. Does he go in? Ika Benet gets a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Into the pit lane comes the race leader. Does Esteban Pookie come in as well? Answer, yes. Max goes through, and it's VA leading the race.
Yep, on those hard tyres, and I think they're really going to struggle because look at that gap. Paul Eckerman, he's on the 15-lap old medium, so he'll be overtaken soon by Dylan Warren, who's going to be heading down towards, trying to find him on screen. There we are, Dylan Warren heading down in towards turn number 1. Soft for Istvan Pookie, mediums for Matthias Van Erven. We'll see where Matthias comes out, and all this will come out behind Jan Halliday. How far is that gap behind Jan? It's just shy of a second, so we will keep himself in that DRS, so we'll see if that can work for the RHG team. But Jan Halliday, I think realistically, him and Dylan Warren want to get past Paul Eckerman as soon as possible, because Paul is literally a mobile chicane at this point. They want to get rid of him as quick as possible because he's really holding him up. It's allowing Matthias Van Erven to gain in quickly. Inside line for Dylan Warren. He's got the move, and Jan Halliday also going to go for a move. Can he make a move on Dylan? No, he's going to have to be forced in that position, obviously, probably because of Paul being behind, but he does stay behind for now as they head down towards turns 10. And we can see Matthias Van Erven. Can he make a move on Paul? Yeah, he won't be able to make a move into turn 10, but he will be gaining very quickly and possibly get a move down towards turn 13 and pushing the TF10 through.
This is insane racing at the moment. He's trying to go through the exit. He's got him even before the DRS. Meantime, Jan Halliday pulls to the outside line to get ahead of Dylan Warren and takes the net lead of the race on those soft compact tyres. Jan Halliday, net leader here at Montreal.
Yep, and that's Paul Eckerman into the pit lane. Joseph Flock takes the lead of the race ahead of Max Grossborger towards turn 1. They've got a 6.3 second gap to Jan Halliday and Dylan Warren. That gap is going to come down. They are going to drop down this field so quickly unless they pit soon, because you know that those tyres are not going to. Well, they will survive to the end, I believe, but they will be a lot worse than the likes of these newer mediums and soft tyres. Trying to find if there's any battles further back. We got Matthias Van Erven just trying to keep himself in that 1 second gap of Dylan and Jan ahead. That gap's 9/10 of a second as they exit out of turn 7, so it will give him some DRS down in towards turns number 8 and 9. But he's still going to be around that 9/10 gap, so he can't afford to make any mistake at all on this lap. Lenny Pinter 4 seconds back from Matthias Van Erven. That gap was pretty much what it was earlier on. But now Brufair is really being held up by Timo Zelenkiewicz as they head through. Perfect job by Timo to trying to hold the train up, let us little people through as he heads down towards the braking zone at turn 10. Valentine goes to move around the outside. It's Pookie also looking to make a move. He's obviously on those soft tyres, so he has the best tyres out of these three as they head out to the final edge of turn 10. And this one gets past Brufair, as that's also Dylan Warren getting third.
Yeah, Dylan takes the net lead of the race as well. It's away from Jan Halliday because of the DRS. Jan's going to fight back, though, and he's not going to want to let this one go. Into the pit lane to Joseph Loke, and Max still leads this race by 5 seconds on the hard tyres.
Yeah, we'll see.
Take little people through. I'll call my mother.
We'll see if that strategy's worked for Josie Float, because you can see Leroy Brown doing a great job of holding on the track up. Look at them all trying to file through. Lillian Debacle looking from Yvonne Cabana as they head through towards turn 1. And look at this. Josie Float on the soft tyre trying to go around the outside of 1. Can he get around the outside of 2? He'll use some battery to try and keep himself ahead of Ika. The inside line, Ika blocks him off a little bit down to 12th position for Loke. And now Lillian Debacle coming up the inside in towards turn 6.
Lillian's going to have it on the braking zone, but staying round the outside. Joseph Float gets back through. And now here comes Andre Mona coming back through. He's on the soft compact tyres as well. They're going to have to really take care. They can have accidents upon accidents here if they're not careful.
And we'll see if this can work for Joseph Loke. He's now got a 3/10 gap to the back of Ika as they head in towards turn number 10. He'll see not going to be able to make a move here, but he will be gaining enough to try and get a move down towards turn 13. Great break in there from the SRT, and these soft tyres got a lot more grip than the 5-lap old mediums. That was also Flo's Fires getting himself ahead of Tobias Kovanen as well in towards turn 10. Outside line for Joseph Loke. He'll try and get himself ahead of Ika. I think he will easily get the move ahead of Ika Bono in towards the corner. Yes, he does get the move ahead in towards turn 13 and 14. Now he's going to have to try and gain on the back of Yannick Schmidt, and then his teammate Leroy Brenner, who I presume will probably move out the way for him because he doesn't want to be held up too much by his own teammate. Yannick Schmidt into the inside, into turn 1 he goes, trying to get the move ahead of Leroy Brown. Leroy's going to try and force him wide. That allows Joseph Float to get through on 2. Great move there from Joseph Float. Great teamwork from SRT.
Yeah, and Leroy's going to have back on the inside line. That was beautiful. I'll push you wide, you go through, and I'll retake the position. The SHT working together, and they're both in the points. And now look at this, because Joe's on the back of Zelenkiewicz. Now he's pulled to the inside line down towards the line. They are so close. He's on the grass. Can he get through? Yes. Oh, beautiful. And Matthias van Erven passes Jan Halliday for third place. They're side by side, and Matthias takes him. Can Jan fight back on those soft tyres? Dylan Warren's taken the lead of the race. Halliday's trying to come back through. Hasn't worked. Dylan Warren leads. He just got 5 seconds in the last lap.
Yep, great job there. Obviously, you can see Max's tyres are dead. Matthias van Erven to the inside line of Max in towards the ring. So a bit of contact between the two as they head through. Then it allows Jan Halliday to try and get him around the outside. Has to back out for now. Can he get it on the exit? No, he can't. He try. He'll use a bit of battery to the outside line. Max will try and hold it in towards turn 3 and 4. Max will hold it. Oh, nearly be forced off track. Jan Halliday having to break there to get himself out of possibility of having contact into that. So he'll drop back, and then it's pretty much his hopes of trying to fight for the win gone, because he's 1.4 seconds back from Matthias van Erven, who's 8 tenths back from Dylan Warren. I think those two are the ones we'll see fight for the win. Jan Halliday will be fighting for third. But the question is, how long is it before Max has to pit? Because he's just going to hold. He's just going to drop through to the point where he's going to be near the back. Leroy Brown, look at all this behind Leroy Brown, leading the whole train. They're going 3 wide in towards turns 8 and 9. Timo Zelenkiewicz trying to force a way through.
Oh, they're under the bridge. That's going to be Yannick makes contact. Oh, there was nearly a Constantina. How did Zelenkiewicz hold that one? I have no idea.
Lillian.
Caution. No, they haven't. And at the inside, there's a yellow still out there. Floris Wyatt's going to try and come back through. Zelenkiewicz gets forced down. Ika Benet up to 11th position. Floris Wyatt's trying to go side by side. He gets shut off before the DRS is activated. And it's all hell breaking loose. Down towards 13 and 14. Floris keeping his nose on the inside line. And he's through. Oh, brave racing.
Yes, and also that is Istvan Pukki ahead of Lenny Pepinto as well in towards turn 1. Great move from the Ferrari to put them in fifth, and now it looks like it could be a possibility of 4 victories in 5 rounds for Ferrari. But Matthias van Erven, he's 4 tenths back, he's gained in on Dylan Warren. It could also be a first victory for RHG in this championship. This battle will go down to the wire between Dylan Warren and Matthias van Erven. Paul Eckelberg gets a 3-second penalty, but he's then in 16th, so it doesn't really affect what's going to happen in his race. As we can see, Colden Ngolo on the back of Andre Molnar, pushing the Vroom through. Can't find a way through, has to keep himself back for now. We'll have to launch it in towards turns 13 if he can, and there that brings Paul Eckelmeyer up the inside of the Colden Ngolo in towards the braking zone at turn 8, and yet again a bit more contact between the FER and the TF10, but it is Paul Eckelmeyer through, and Colden Ngolo down to P16.
This race is turning into demolition derby as they come through, as now they've got to have to try and keep it up. Put Matthias 3 tenths back at the moment to Dylan as we start lap 30 of 35, 6 to go. Matthias 6th up on mediums to Dylan Warren 7. Yes, just 1 single lap here could make the difference, and he is playing on that factor. He wants to try and get the moves done, and he's going to be pushing incredibly hard to make it happen. This is a battle and a half to the end. They are 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds clear to Jan Halliday. They've really pushed those tyres. Halliday's softs have gone off, and it's Warren versus Matthias van Erven.
Yeah, there's 5 laps left to go, and at one point I'm thinking Jan can get that third, but I think Max and Istvan indeed will start to close in shortly, because that gap's just 4.4 seconds between Jan and Istvan. I think that gap will come down. I think Istvan could potentially try and make that move for third position. Max will eventually end up dropping down from Istvan because he's on 21 lap old tyres. He'll take those tyres 26 laps by the end of this race, but the softs, I think they're a little bit done by now, because look at that gap. 2.5 seconds between Matthias and Jan, and that being formed in what, 2 laps that gap was formed?
Yep, 2 laps indeed. That's how big it already is. 7, and then you've got to then watch Istvan Pukki, who's 1.7 seconds off of Max closing, but Max is on 21 up on tyres, so just watch Lenny Pepinto maybe take an unlikely podium position here with 5 laps to go. Matthias all over the back of Dylan Warren at the front though, but there's all sorts of drama forming here at Montreal.
There is, as I'm just on board with Lenny Pepinto heading through out of turn 2 and 3, keeping very closely behind the back of Istvan Pukki. Could also be an opportunity for Lenny to try and make a move ahead of the Ferrari as well, because he's tyres seem very good, and that's Ika around at turn 1. He's had a bit of a mistake. He's spun around the car. He's going to drop down to 16th. He's going to drop down to 7th behind Tobias Koivunen as they exit there. And this race for Ika is just, it just hasn't worked, has it? I think he's going to be happy once he can finish this race, because nothing has gone his way today at all. Absolutely nothing. Whereas Matthias, on the other hand, is comfortably sitting in second, could even fight for the win.
Hasn't worked at all, has it? And that's heartbreaking to see. You just want it to work, you will it to work, it just never does. As we're watching now Matthias, who's 3/10 in, he's got the DRS. Is Matthias Van Erven going to go for the race lead here as he comes down towards 13 and 14 at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve? He's very close in. He's going to have to think about it. He's practically pushing Dylan Warren down that straightaway, and he's got a good exit. Is this going to be the lead of the race from Matthias Van Erven in towards turn number 1? Answer no, but he's so close right now. So close.
Yep, and Valentine Bruffair looking for a move on. Max Gross pointing towards turn 1. Obviously, Lenny and Istvan overtook Max down towards the final corner and also in towards turn 1. Valentine a little bit stuck behind for now. He's going to try and get it down towards turn 3. He won't be able to get it down towards turn 3. Valentine could be in a spot of bother at this point if he can't get through before turn number 6, because Max is going to hold him up heavily. That gap now between Lenny and Valentine, sorry, is about 6/10 of a second as they head into the braking zone at turns 6 and 7. He's still going to drop more and more. He needs to get the move down towards turn 8, surely, does Valentine. But Istvan P's done a 3.6 second gap to Jan Haldane. I don't think it'll be enough to catch, but obviously they're quicker, but I don't think it'll be enough to catch and get themselves ahead, because 3.7 seconds in 3 laps is a lot.
Max is dropping like a stone now, so those gambits hasn't worked. Oh, Valentine up the inside, knocks out the way for Max. That was great from Valentine up into 6th place for Williams. Now he sets after Lenny Pepinta.
And then we've got Josie Float looking to get himself ahead of the Veloce Academy driver of Max Grosspunter. To be fair, I think Max might be able to hold on to that 7th or 8th position. Lenny Pepinta up the inside. Maybe some Boogie boxed himself back into 4th position. These lot will be having a bit of a battle to the end of the race, because they're definitely not going to catch now. They're battling like this. Josie Float looking for a move to the inside of Max Grosspunter in towards the breakers at turn 1. Can he get the move done? He'll go to the inside line. He does get the move done. Great move there from the SRT driver. His teammate Leroy Brown currently defending from Yannick Schmidt, who's in 10th. Yannick Schmidt to the inside. Can he get himself ahead of one of the SRTs? Yes, he can. Great move by the Williams driver to put himself now into the top 10. And then further back, I think we also saw Topias into the pit lane. So FER into the pits. We've got Ikebana ahead of Tima Zelenkiewicz for 15th. And Tima also staying out on those hards. That was a very risky strategy for Veloce Academy. I just don't think it's worked the way they would have liked it to.
Nope, and we saw Flores get another 3-second time penalty, so he's going to drop down a further time. So that might actually put him right towards the back of the field. Definitely he's not in the points already, but that's bad news for TES and Flores making his eSport return. Tristan Davenport back up to 19th, but he has a penalty. So Kovayan as well in 20th, not going to work out. Now, Matthias Van Erven has DRS, but I think Dylan's got it covered on this lap around. I think Matthias just trying to save his battery. He's on 95%, Dylan on 75%. So there are just about, I think, energy savings now for Matthias.
Yes, and we can see there Joseph Float trying to get a move on. Valentine Bruffair. Bit of a tap of the wall from the Williams as they're heading towards turn number 1. Is Joseph close up to make that move into top 6? No, he's not. Has to sit behind on this opportunity. Coldwell Ngolo ahead yet again of Andre Monro in towards turn number 13 and 14. Another penalty for Topias Koivunen, but a great exit from Andre Monro to try and take back 13th position as they head down towards turn 1. Further up, we can see Joseph Floak also trying to make a move yet again on the back of Valentine Bruffair, who's doing a great job of defence against the SRT of Joseph Floak. Into the braking zone they go. No move possible, and I think, Josh, Max Grosspunter has kept this P8 because Janet Schmidt's got to gain 7 seconds in 2 laps. I don't think that's possible.
Matthias is very close. I think we should cut to the front now, because if it's going to be on any lap, it'll be this one to try and get an advantage towards the front into the braking zone for turn 10. Trails it in. Tristan Davenport with a 1:10.564. He's got the fastest lap. Right, DRS activated. Matthias needs to have a practice run, because next time around it is the end of the race. Dylan Warren will be aware that he might have a go here in towards the braking zone for the last 2 corners. He's going for it on the inside line, and Matthias Van Erven takes the lead here in Montreal. Going on to the last lap. Can Dylan Warren get anything on a drag towards the line? He'll have DRS. Oh, they're nearly in the braking zone, but Matthias Van Erven leads on the last lap.
So it's the final lap. It's the final time for Dylan Warren to try and take that lead from Matthias Van Erven. Ferrari looking for 4 wins out of 5, and are actually looking for their first win this season with Matthias Van Erven. The gap 4 tenths as they head down in towards turn number 7 and 8. Will we see a possible move yet again, because Matthias has gone a little bit deep. Dylan Warren also having a bit of a snap on the curb as they come through. Down in towards turns 8 and 9 they come, and I don't think Dylan's going to get it this time, but he's going to have a great run down in towards turns 13. The gap 2.5 tenths as they enter in towards turn 9. They want to head down towards the hairpin. Dylan Warren will get DRS down towards turn 10, and he will actually move to the inside. Dylan Warren going to move in towards a hairpin, and he does make that move. He will keep it to the side by side as they exit the corner. Down towards turn 13 they go, and Matthias has got it. But who will have DRS? Will it be Dylan Warren as they head down? Yes, it will. Dylan Warren DRS to the outside. Dylan Warren to the inside line. They go side by side, and I think Dylan Warren's got the lead. Yes, he had. He's going to send Dylan defensive into the braking zone. Dylan has got that move. But Matthias is going to go. He gets a penalty. 3-second penalty for Matthias van Erven. Can he take victory on track? No. Dylan Warren keeps it by 5,000 of a second. 5. Oh my, what a phenomenal line. 5,000 of a second between the top two. But a 3-second penalty for Matthias ruined it.
That it was still Dylan Warren's in the line, but with that 3-second time penalty, he'll still stay in second because Halliday dropped back 5,000ths of a second in the line. What an end! And it is another win for Ferrari. 4 out of 5 races. They are unstoppable.
They are. No one can beat Ferrari at this point. Dylan Warren, second win of the season. Absolutely superb. RHG getting another podium for Matthias van Erven, but TES, a podium, that is something they would love. They would love a podium, and this is going to help them in their championship to try and gain more points over the likes of SRT and even try and gain in on some of the teams further up. So Jan Halliday, a superb effort to take third position, but we'll shortly look at the final classification for the racer. Nico Boehner, despite all the stuff that's gone on for him, does get driver of the day. So we'll have a look now at the final classification of the race once we can get the loading screen past. I mean, we'll have a look who is situated where once it loads. There we are. So we can see Dylan popping up to the front top step of the podium. So it will be Dylan Warren who takes victory for Ferrari here tonight in Canada. Then it will be Matthias van Erven in second and Jan Halliday in the top 3. Then Pinto finishes 4th for Alpine on Pookie in the top 5. Then Joseph Flo, I believe this is the best of a finish for SRT in this season. He will finish 6th ahead of Antin Brugfair. 7th, Max Grosspointer in 8th. Yannick Schmidt in 9th and Leroy Brown Ranger at the top 10. The first time both SRTs have finished in the top 10 this season. Then Kodun Ngolo in 11th, Paul Akamai 12th, Andrew Omanov 13th, Forrest Wise 14th, Ika Baena 15th, Timo Zanikiewicz 16th, Oscar Camper 17th, Julian Derbicourt 18th, Tristan Derbicourt 19th, and Tobias Koivunen 20th position, who also got the fastest lap. What an ending that was. It was a brilliant race. I was too tired. I didn't even know what was going on at the final corner. I'm getting mixed up everywhere, but it was brilliant between the top two. If we ignore that penalty, it was 5,000ths to the line. It was superb between Dylan and Matthias.
Personally, because it didn't make a blind bit of difference. So 5,000ths. I'm saying it was that.
It was, yeah. I think that's the closest we've ever seen. We had nil, where it is nil, not nil, 0.000. That's what, nil of a millisecond between it was Istvan and Max Vissel. And then we've had 5,000ths at the line between Dylan and Matthias in round 5. The timings at the end of these qualifying and races this season have been so small. And hopefully we can get a couple in for an interview. That would be very, very
hopefully
nice.
So.
And it's a shame I had to be really tired today. Such a shame because it was a brilliant race. But, in a way, I'm glad it's over. I can have a relax now. And we're going to drag Dylan up for an interview. We're going to drag Jan as well up for an interview.
I'll leave him with you then, mate, because you're better at these.
Oh, that's nice. So, Dylan, hello. Did I disrupt your chat with Jonah?
Yeah, I think he was finished.
Oh, okay. Right. So anyway, welcome in. Great job on the victory against Matthias. Onto the final lap. Did you think he was going to take it back? Because he squoze you right to the inside, didn't he, and towards the chicane?
Yeah, and he also locked our tyres as well, which is not fun. But, I mean, regardless, I got it by 5,000. So even with the penalty, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, but still, it was great. 4 out of 5 victories for Ferrari. This is your second victory this season. Could have been the third if everything went right in Monaco, but yes, the tyres didn't like you over there. But still, great job. And I think pretty much, I don't think you got the championship yet, but I think it's pretty much over, isn't it, for Ferrari now? You've got to what? Got to have about, I think it's going to be about 60 points between you and second.
I mean, there's still 3 races left, but like I saw with Tier 10 last season that you can gain a massive deficit in the course of 2 races. But it's nice to have a larger hold on it, especially since we didn't lose so many points last week. Thanks for mentioning that as well. But yeah, it's a nice redemption, let's say, especially after turn 1, lap 2 as well, which made it really, really annoying. So I had no battery the whole race. I had to lead the whole race as well because no one was willing to overtake or just unable to get close enough.
What happened with Joseph?
Yeah. Joseph, I don't know. I guess I was going off probably anyway, and then he hit me regardless. I mean, I think I could have stayed 2 wheels on, but regardless helped off anyway. And then I think he got spun round, I went off and lost 3 places, and then I had to re-overtake everyone anyway.
So that was quite an annoying moment then in the race.
Yeah, it made it a bit more difficult.
Well, it still didn't matter because you still got the victory. And it was, I think, if Matthias didn't get that penalty, it would have been 5,000. So it would have been very close between you two. And I think it was a great battle at the end of the race between you and Matthias, indeed. So yeah, that is all from me. Josh, anything from you quickly before we let Dylan go? If you're with us still, because I know you're muted. Right, he's still muted. Josh?
Oh, he's still here.
No. Oh, good.
Anything for Dylan? Yes? No? Maybe so?
No, left them all with you, mate. Left it all with you.
Oh, well, Dylan, sorry, Josh don't want to speak to you. Right, anyway, thanks for joining us, Dylan, and we'll see you again maybe next week. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, that's right. So it made me sound unfair, but I'm just closing everything down. Hello.
No. I see how it is, Josh. I see how it is.
No, it's all fine. It's all fine.
No.
Well done. I'll say one thing because Richie's forcing me to now. I'll put my camera on. I'm shutting everything down. Well done, both of you. Very exciting end to the race. And Jan, I'm sorry it didn't work out with the soft tyres. Dylan, pitch perfect as ever. Both of you, well done. You very have much lifted my mood tonight. You don't know how much I needed it. So, thumbs up.
Right. Thank you
very
much.
For you, Josh, then? Is that your just quick roundup?
Yeah.
So, thanks, Dylan, for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Have a good evening.
Jan Halliday, welcome in.
Hello.
It's been a long time since I've seen you in the commentary box. So that can either be a good or a bad thing, depending on what you decide. So, did you expect to beat him in qualifying? Because I didn't.
Well, I feel like Canada is a bit of an RG. It's either you peak, or either you do like 5 times slower lap than what their PB is. This time I PB'd, I think, by a lot, by like a 10th. So, yeah, this first sector was insane. And that basically saved my ass in the race, I have to say, because my raw pace in the race was like slowest on the whole grid. I feel like, Dylan was almost gapping me on the dry tires. So GG's to him, I have to say. It was clear on the pace today, and definitely deserved to win.
Yeah, it was a great race. It was nice to see you, obviously, with TES taking the podium in this championship. I think you're still relatively far off all the teams at the top, but it does give you a bit more of breathing space, the likes of TF10 and some of the other teams as well that he was fighting with. So yeah, I think the team also will be very happy with this result. Did you expect to come in with a podium as well, or was it not on the cards?
I was hoping for something like a top 5, as I felt pretty good on this track. Also, I'm getting used to the rig more and more, so I'm expecting myself to get better and better. But I definitely didn't expect podium. Like even after that quali, I thought I'm gonna drop off in the race. Yeah. And then I saw the rain. I was like, nice. I like rain. Rain could be good. And I was actually leading, thanks to Joseph sending it on Dylan. But yeah, like I said, the pace wasn't good, but it's a podium, so we'll take it. I'm happy.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got 3 rounds left to go: Kota, Suzuka, and Jeddah. Will we see you at any of those races?
Probably not at Kota, as it's my worst track. Maybe on Suzuka, and probably not on Saudi, as I have exams on my uni. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, it was nice to have a little chat with you. It was nice to see you as well get the podium for TES. So yeah, that's all from me, and obviously as well all from Josh as he had his word earlier on. So yeah, thanks Jan for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, so there we are.
End the bus there.
Huh?
I was on the other side of the commentary box.
Well.
Completely threw me under the bus.
It doesn't hurt to be nice, Josh.
That.
Right, we'll get the camera screens back on and we'll give a bit of a wrap up for today's race, which was great. Apart from the fact I felt dead the whole time and I was really, really tired. My own fault for going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, thanks to many people. I don't know if they're watching, but they will know who they are. That was up till 3:30 in the morning. And I woke up at 9, so I had 4.5, 5 hours sleep. So I'm very tired, and I'll probably end up going to sleep after this because I am absolutely shattered. But it was a great race.
I wasn't with you last week is affecting me now still. So I'm very, I get tired very. I haven't had COVID or anything. I get tired very easily now. So
old age?
I'm exhausted as well. Yes, my old age. Cheeky Dalek. Yeah, I'm very, very tired as well. I'm an old man now. I need to go to sleep.
So yeah, it was. I'd say with the wet being a factor, it was a very long race, but it was definitely exciting at the end between Matthias and Dylan, who yet again did a superb job in their races today. And obviously, round 5, it wasn't the best race of the season, unfortunately, but it was definitely still a very good race. I don't think anything will top Monaco off this season at all. I think it was still a great race, but 3 races have to go. We'll have a quick look at the calendar before we go, and we've got lots of Kota, Suzuka, Jeddah, 3 great tracks. I'd say Suzuka will probably bring the least racing out of the 2. I think Jeddah will probably be the most. So I think we're in for still an action-packed final 3 races, aren't we?
We are indeed. In the calendar, we've commentated these tracks before, me and you, on the games, and they are incredibly close racing ones as well. So it's a good calendar shape up. And I think it favours Ferrari still, who are now very close to clinching the championship. 4 out of 5 wins as well. They'll be gaining on those points. So I think we could be in for a very interesting end to this season with, what is it, 3 ones left?
Yeah.
6, 7, 8? Yeah, 3 races left. Wow. And the 20th, of course, of December.
Yeah, I think this season's gone very quick. It doesn't feel like the season started 29 days ago, does it? It feels like it started last week. It's gone really quick. We're 5 rounds in already in this season. Obviously, we've got the December the 6th, then December the 13th, and December the 20th, and we'll obviously finish all this before Christmas, which I wouldn't have thought we would have got through an 8-round championship in a month and a half.
Scary,
it's very quick, isn't it? But it's good because, in a way, it gives the drivers less time to prepare, which makes it more interesting because sometimes we see a few unknowns come through, and some drivers, like we said with Jan, P being in session, which is great for them. It's really great when you get a personal best in a qualifying session. And I think the thing is about it, it's just unexpected. You don't expect to beat your personal best in a qualifying session, do you? You got the pressure on, you got everything happening, and for it to happen, they're so, oh, wow.
And for it to happen live for us to commentate on it as well
it's great.
Perfect, and it's been really good. Anyway, I'm like you. I think we're all pretty much exhausted after that one.
We are.
Everyone watching at home, they've been on the edge of the seat loving it. Us in the commentary box are exhausted. The drivers are probably exhausted as well, and we all earn a very good rest.
Indeed.
Tonight.
So, yes, thank you everyone for joining yet again, as usual, for the PSGL E-Series. We're back next week, December the 6th. Already in December for the 6th round of the championship at Kota, Texas, which will definitely be a very exciting race. So make sure to tune in then for that race. Make sure to come back tomorrow for round 5 of Austria at the PC Championships, and then come back for round 5 Austria as well for the PS Championships on Monday. Don't miss any of that action at all. So thank you again everyone for joining us, and from the bottom of our hearts, it means a lot for all the support in the chat from everyone, and we'll see you again next time. Good night.